Hi everybody, welcome very much to the channel. I'm here today to do a watch along, a watch party of the first international championship being held in Pokémon Champions. Is Naic North America International Championships, one of the most important tournaments. A lot of people from around the world are participating and I'm paying attention to it. Very valuable in terms of prize money and championship points, and can still qualify a lot of people for the World Cup, so that's very important. And thank you for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. We're right on point to start with the first match. We have Marco Silva that won the Turin event last week, right? Last weekend, so he just came there from Italy right to the States to enjoy some good Pokemon. And I think both players here are using very normal teams, very meta teams, I would say, because you can see, yeah, Charizard Floette from Emilio Forbes, Charizard Floette. Here we have Charizard Aerodactyl, so nothing, I think nothing that is surprising to us, nothing that it's crazy. But crazy is the fact that this is happening right now. It's Friday, yeah. It's like the first start of the NYC. They always start on Fridays. I think Worlds will be the same. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. How we doing today? I hope everybody's doing good. I hope everybody's feeling all right. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. We'll not be watching the whole thing today because I'm also doing watch parties of the Football World Cup. So at 8 I'll be watching a Football World Cup match. Here we go. Charizard Aerodactyl, easy stuff. Whimsicott Floette, both Tailwind, both strong megas coming out. I don't see anything weird with this. Yeah, because Whimsicott has priority because of... it's a bit slightly better than Aerodactyl in this scenario because priority Tailwind, right? Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. Ooh, weird echo. Because you can hear the voice of the commentators. You guys can't listen to it because I'm not there yet. I'm not showing it to you. But you can hear his voice and you can hear the voice on the venue. So, not so great. Hopefully they can change that. Welcome, everybody. Okay, switch to Garchomp. Okay, it will be resisting everything but the Solar Beam. Solar Beam is neutral. Protect on the Whimsy. Interesting. Okay. Tailwind. Yeah, sure. Heatwave. Yeah, just Heatwave, no problem. Because now Whimsicott can anchor their Aerodactyl over there. Oh, they changed the cameras. They changed a little bit the setup here of the stream. Actually, I like that. Yeah, I always have some troubles positioning my camera on these streams, but it's fine. We're here. Welcome, everybody. Okay, hello. Okay, Rock Slide, good damage over there. Ooh, flinch on the Rock Slide. Feels bad. Welcome, everybody. We are here. Welcome to the stream. Here we go. Hey, Rusgar. Welcome to the stream, everybody. Welcome. How we doing? Welcome. Okay. Oh, nice. Finally, they're showing the items. Okay, they fixed this. They fixed stuff. Actually dreamed of doing an FEM 26 30 World Cup career with you. Yeah, That's cool. Because in the last broadcast, they were not showing the items of the Pokemon. Now they're showing the items, they change a little bit the cameras. They changed a lot of things here. I really enjoy this. They changed a couple of things, which is very cool. It looks nice. Good production, I think. Wide guard, okay. Earth blocking it? No, yeah, blocking the rock slide, yeah. Makes sense. Do you have an idol inspiration? Myself. Hyper voice, big damage. Marco is controlling this match quite nicely. Okay, still finishing, setting up here the stream, guys. Hold on. Sylveon survives. That's incredible. That's incredible.
The rock slide was blocked would have been the extra damage against Sylveon. The Tailwind now expires just on Marco's side, though. Remember, the he clicked Tailwind to turn earlier than the Whimsicott did, and so now the King Gambit should be moving before the Sylveon. Of course, Floette moving before either thing on the other
hello.
side. King Gambit has Sucker Punch pressure as well. So this is
We'll be watching World Cup matches today as well, everybody.
It's very easy for Marco to defuse it. Has double protect available to kill that last turn of Tailwind, which would make Aerodactyl the fastest thing on the field once again, and it's also pretty easy to set up Tailwind to get here. Even in Tailwind, Aerodactyl, even in Tailwind for King Gambit, Aerodactyl will be moving first. You can always get access to that next Tailwind, and then Charizard is looking to be home in the future.
What do you think about Turkey's chances in the tournament? They have good chances. It all depends on how their defense and midfield plays out. Okay, they're really good going forwards, but backwards it's the problem. Mega Floette is ready. That's gonna be a very strong Dazzling Limb here. Quick attack, yeah, which is fine. Rock Slide? Okay, Dazzling Limb, yeah. Strong. Doesn't pick the knockout on the Aerodactyl though, so maybe we can see a dual Wing Beat, another Tailwind here. Yeah, another Tailwind. Well played, well played. Well played.
I think this was a really smart turn for Marco. Could have fallen into
Yeah, Marco is playing really well. Super smooth, solid, focused. That's how kinda he won Turin.
But Marco covers for that. He wants Aerodactyl to not protect and go for Tailwind, but he doesn't want to risk losing the Aerodactyl in the meantime. If you take a Dazzling Gleam and an Iron Head, your Aerodactyl just goes down.
All right.
So quick attack helps cover for that.
I'm fully ready.
Tries to stay in and go after damage on Aerodactyl, the quick attack will just take it out. So while you give up Sylveon in this process, you successfully get yourself a Tailwind and don't end up in a back-footed position. Now Charizard comes in an excellent position here. Its #1 enemy, Garchomp, is already down on the other side. Floette having to protect itself.
Insider with charcoal on Marco Silva's team. I like that. Oh, what's that berry on King Gambit? I don't know what berry it is. That's interesting. Should be for ground type damage? No, that's... Oh, that will be Shuka Berry. I don't think that's Shuka Berry. I think Shuka Berry is yellow. Maybe it's just... No, Chople Berries I think is also yellow, no? Weather Ball into the Protect? Okay. Bro, first match already a banger. These two players are really good. You know. These players are really good.
Really difficult for Emilio at this point. Marco has all of the tools it seems like he'll need, and has one unrevealed Pokemon yet to show that can still help close out this position. Aerodactyl has to be a little bit worried here about Sucker Punch coming in, but can of course just wide guard. It makes it really difficult for Emilio to capitalize on this.
Mask Illusion with Mystic Water on Forbes side, it's really strong. Sucker Punch, good damage. Rock Slide does not miss. I think Floette needed to dodge that Rock Slide, because now a Heat Wave or Weather Ball will pick the knockout. Oh no, it's faster! Light of Ruin! That will pick the knockout, no? No! 4%! 4 HP, literally! No way! Heat Wave miss? No miss! Now, good play from Emilio, but... Charizard survives quite nicely. Alright, good play, bro. Marco, super control, super calm, I love it.
Sucker Punch, Light of Ruin, double up as a possibility after the Rock Slide didn't pick up the KO on King Gambit. If that had been a KO back into Charizard, things might have looked a little bit risky there depending on what the last Pokemon was, but Charizard has just the training it needs, hangs on with 4 hit points and gets the game winning.
Alright, I'm back.
Let's take a look back at some of the plays that happened in that first game. It was really that positioning masterclass, especially when Emilio felt like he was on the back foot at the start of the game. He needed to find the right window to actually weave in attacks from this Floette, use that Mega Evolution after getting caught off guard by that Aerodactyl Charizard lead.
Right, I think that's the key moment. In a matchup like this that can be so damage trading back and forth, if you have the disadvantage in the lead position, it can be really difficult to recover. Marco immediately had damage threat with Charizard and Aerodactyl on turn 1, and then was able to reset it after Emilio's reposition, so that now Sylveon was threatening the offense. And it was really just those 2 hits that he needed, the Heat Wave into and the force of the Garchomp on the field, and then the
Good stuff, good stuff. Here we go, game 2. I think Basculegion can be really important for Emilio, but the Incineroar on the other side dropping its attack stat doesn't make it, like, it's hard for you to actually think about it as a good solution, but it can be, for sure. Here we go, for Giraffe, Incineroar, rooting for you, Megazard. No! We don't want more Megazard Y winners, brother. Welcome, Harley, welcome. It is the Basculegion, but there we go. Marco reads that, brings the Incin and immediately intimidates it. But yeah, Basculegion, I think it's a must. Especially with Mystic Water, it's gonna do so much damage. But now it's -1, so very hard for... I mean, it will do a lot of damage still into the Charizard, but I don't think it picks a knockout. It depends if it's Adamant. It should be Adamant. If it's not Scarfed, it's Adamant, I think. King Gambito. Nice. Oh! Recycling the Incin into Sylveon. That can take a powerful Wave Crash. Here we go. Let's see the damage. Big damage. That's really good. Trick Room. Nice. That's why Emilio brought the King Gambit. Well played, well played. Yeah, do you guys know what item is on the King Gambit over there? What berry is that? It's not Chople, is it? Berry to resist fire type attack, maybe? To make a better matchup into Charizard? Actually, I'm not sure.
And we know Incineroar's in the back, so it's difficult to reposition there because you would just give over a Defiant boost. So that turn 1 King Gambit switch as Trick Room goes up looks like it's so valuable here. And Sylveon takes so much damage from that Wave Crash. It was -1, but it didn't look
Psychic?
so much damage back.
Good damage. Bask seems to have a lot of HP investment. Hyper Voice. Yeah, Sylveon is slower than King Gambit outside of Trick Room. That's very interesting. Iron Head, easy. I guess Emilio was expecting the King Gambit to move first. That Sylveon is really slow. Or the King Gambit is fast. Basculegion going down is really bad.
Still stays a really big problem, pretty healthy here, and Incineroar are going to be forced back out on the field, probably moving before the King Gambit on the other side, but has to give up a Defiant boost in the meantime.
You at least have Fake Out for 1 turn,
yeah.
but I think the other thing
Defiant boost is really good though.
Kind of 2 pretty difficult targets. At this position,
Floette is threatening a lot of damage, but also can be parting shotted.
Oh, certainly. It probably comes close to one-hit KOing the King Gambit.
With the Occaberry.
Oh, the Occaberry is kind of...
Occaberry.
Yeah, you're right.
For fire damage, yeah.
Create a problem if you have it. You probably don't have Aerodactyl
Yeah.
as a way to unnerve.
I don't think Incin can one-shot the King Gambit because of Occaberry. King Gambit comes back. Gives up the boost for Whimsy. What? You might take a Flare Blitz there, bro. That's super risky. What? I mean, yeah, there is Focus Sash, but then what about next turn? Guess it's because of the Fake Out. Yeah, Flare, no Fake Out, that's really good. I mean, now, Light of Ruin surely picks a knockout. Dazzling Gleam, I don't think it does on the Incin. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Psychic on the Floette. Yeah. Let's see the damage. It's Moonblast. Okay. Ah, no way. It survives, really. So I guess that Floette does not have a lot of special attack investment. It's more like speedy or bulky. I don't know. I was expecting that to be a knockout. King Gambito. Protect on the flowy.
Well, Marco might be giving up his Incineroar here, so let's see the Flare Blitz.
Flare Blitz into the protect. Well played, Emilio. Psychic E does a double up. Okay. No, it was not. Good switch from Emilio. Trick Room. Less turn of Trick Room. So, easy. I know, but just protected with Floette. So Marco can just double up into the Floette.
Interesting prioritization. Like you might not expect that that's the key thing if you have Charizard in the back. So for Emilio's shoes, you're trying to figure out what that fourth Pokemon is, and you're trying to use signals based on the targeting to understand that. It could be though that it was just the vulnerable thing. If you know that you're putting Psychic in,
because Basculation is already out, so Emilio already revealed all his Pokemon for this match.
Some targeting into Floette for that turn, even if it's likely to protect.
King Gambit switches into Whimsy. Okay, not bad, the protect there. Flare Blitz into the Whimsy. Hopefully see a Dazzling Gleam or something here from the Flowey. Moonblast into the protect. I mean, that's fine, because now you have the King Gambit, which is faster outside of Trick Room. But Freegraph is full HP. So, yeah, you have 2 Light of Ruin, which will make you very vulnerable for the next couple of turns.
But Incineroar really difficult, in a really difficult spot now, likely moving after King Gambit and Floette without Trick Room up. It's such low health that it's just kind of waiting to be KO'd by Dazzling Gleam. Really crucial now at this point what that last Pokemon is for Marco. If it's Charizard, it probably comes in and just has a really nice time cleaning up this game. If it's not Charizard, I'm not sure any of the other Pokemon can accomplish it.
Insane comes out. Charizard comes in. Dazzle Salazzle. Kowtow? Yeah. Oh, into the Char. I don't think it matters. I mean, now the Instant comes in and gives a boost to the King Gambit, though. I guess it was on purpose. Yeah, I guess Marco sacrificed Charizard to guarantee Trick Room.
Taken from Marco there, probably expecting that it's Kowtow into the Freegraph, trying to block the Trick Room, and so you get Charizard in for free and tries to preserve.
Ah, okay.
Next to Charizard on the
Oh, because Sylveon was already knocked out. Yeah, true, I forgot about that. So it's the final 2 versus the final 2. King Gambit can't Sucker Punch. But Freegraph can touch King Gambit. So if Insane goes for a Flare Blitz, Insane will knock itself out. Yeah. Okaberry! No! No! Through Okaberry! What?
Can Freegraph realistically win a damage trade back and forth with Floette?
Its only move is Psychic, so potentially you're able to get this in a couple of turns, but Psychic first, it looks like it's going to take about 4 Psychics to get this job done.
Certainly not going to take 4 Moonblasts. I think Floette is going to be able to clean this up.
Yeah, unless the Freegraph crits, Emilio wins games number 2. Oh wow, it was a very interesting game. I think the key turn was knocking out the Charizard there with the Kowtow.
Cleans it up for now. Floette though just going to protect itself.
Just have to make sure that you're going through the motions here. Emilio knows that this game is all but locked up, and you want to take this time to actually think about how you're going to approach Game 3.
Right, you want to find what the next path is going to
No
be.
crit? Well done.
Success from Game 1.
Game 2, here we go. Win for Emilio, I like it. This is good, this is good. This is good, this is good. Good stuff.
As he tried to do in that first game, but just had too much damage going his way.
A lot of times if you're playing against Trick Room, even when it's not a Trick Room team, but a team that decides to go into its Trick Room mode, it's all about what you do on that first turn without Trick Room. Are you ready to pounce as soon as the Trick Room falls? And Emilio was in that position. Had the Incineroar so low on the other side. And one thing I want to call out about that Kowtow Cleave targeting as well is that if Incineroar had stayed in, Dazzling Gleam would have KO'd Incineroar, which could not protect itself. The Kowtow Cleave would have just redirected into the Frigoraph and picked up that KO anyway. So there was no
Big damage. It was a crit as well on the Charizard, so I don't think without the crit it picks a knockout there. It was +1 though. It was +1.
I also wonder maybe what would have happened if Marco had actually used Flare Blitz into the Whimsicott slot, even if it was at 1 HP. Would have caught that King Gambit on the switch in, and then it's just down to Whimsicott and Floette.
Right, you're talking about the turn where Floette protected itself and Whimsicott cycled out
Yes.
to King Gambit to take the Psychic. A lot of times from the Trick Room side, you really have to make sure you capitalize on all 4 turns of Trick Room that you have. And then if the opponent can successfully disrupt it with the right switches and right protects, it almost always feels like in a close Trick Room game, you can point back to one turn during that Trick Room where if the targeting had been different, then it all works.
Good game.
out.
Basculegion goes out very early, so now I'm pretty sure that Emilio knows about that speed interaction between his King Gambit and the Sylveon on Trick Room. Game 3 on the first match on the stream, here we go. That's good, that's good.
And that's what we're going to see. It's going to be the Aerodactyl and the Sylveon from Marco as leads in this game 3. And back to the Basculegion and Whimsicott for Emilio.
Basculegion and Whimsicott a lot more stable in this position than the Floette we saw in game 1 was against Aerodactyl. Like, not
Yeah, now there is Tailwind though, for both.
You can, Tailwind and Hyper Voice to get damage into Basculegion, but you're not threatening a KO. Maybe Rock Slide plus Hyper Voice is threatening a KO, but then you're not getting the speed control. Basculegion should be moving before Sylveon in that situation. And Moonblock, we saw the Wave Crash damage at -1. Wave Crash might just be a one-hit KO against.
No, Wave Crash is a one-hit knockout on the Sylveon, I'm pretty sure.
Attack.
But Marco can just switch the Insane and Intimidate right now.
Plus Wave Crash is enough to pick up that KO.
But nobody wants to take a Wave Crash here from the Vask. Not even the Insane switching in, so it's a tough turn for Marco. The only Pokemon that really wants to take a Wave Crash is the Garchomp, and not even that. Good Tailwind here. Okay. Wave Crash! Boom! That's a knockout. Yeah. Yeah, I think it was pretty obvious. Rock Slide misses! The Bask, big! And there is no Tailwind now. At least no guaranteed Tailwind. Because Aerodactyl does not have priority Tailwind. So you can double up into it. You can bring Incident Fake out and guarantee the Tailwind. Because it's Focus Sash Aerodactyl. Chomp Chomp. Yo yo yo, KO Stars, how you doing? How you doing? Bro, for right now, first match of the tournament, awesome. These two players are really good. It's going good, it's going good. It just started like 23 minutes ago. The match itself, the stream started earlier. And these two players are very good themselves. They're using very strong teams. And we've been seeing some good plays. It's going, I was testing some random stuff to surprise a friend. Whoa! That's insane damage! From an Aqua Jet! Double up? Yeah. Yeah, nice. No Tailwind, I think Marco loses this. But using their favorite Pokemon with a strat, I haven't tried myself yet. Nice! Go get him, bro! Go get him! Earthquake! No, Basculegion is really strong into Marco's team. Because Aerodactyl, Charizard, and Insino don't want to take it. It's also pretty effective. And then Garchomp and Sylveon can take it, but they go down in at least 2 attacks. The Frigoraph can hold it, but I don't think it's a part of the plan. The strat being Perish Trap and the Friends ever being semi-powered. Oh, I like that. That's interesting.
think a really crucial turn of Protect here.
Yeah, semi-power is not the worst. Fake out access is pretty chill, yeah.
Without a Moonblast coming into it, you're maybe starting to come back.
Protezione.
Protect Charizard from an attack, it's really important. But for now, just the Basculegion actually going to protect itself.
Encore?
Going to lock that Garchomp into Earthquake.
Possible there is a Garchomp
Nice.
sneaking around in the back.
Earthquake.
Even that Charizard that would be immune to that Earthquake. And there's you have a couple of turns now. You're going to need to try to fight through that. Whimsicott eating the dust is actually going to give a free switch here for.
Bye bye, Whimsy. Thanks for your work. It was really good. No Mega for the Charizard.
To some extent, there's smart plays from Emilio's side about limiting your opponent's options. If you're really trying to capitalize on your Tailwind, you want to take away the guessing game of the targeting on the other side.
Last turn of Tailwind.
The Garchomp, if it had protected on that turn, that means that Floette knows it can just target Garchomp because it can't successfully protect guaranteed the next turn. If you encore into Earthquake, then it can't protect itself. Either way,
it can protect
you know
totally. Yeah, that's really important.
Next turn and continue to simplify the game. Instead of playing the guessing game about targeting, Emilio just finds a way to lock in one more KO and continue to simplify this. When you have a big 4-2 lead like Emilio had, finding ways to take the guessing games out of it is so important. Emilio did a great job at that here.
There's still going to be Mega Evolution on the table for Marco. And it's just
Protezione. I just targeted the Garchomp, right?
Basculegion is still threatening with things like
Yeah.
that Wave Crash, so it can help take a little bit of that work out, but a one-hit
Big damage.
the Garchomp. This Charizard's gonna have 3 Pokemon to get through if it wants to bring Marco Silva this first round victory.
Garchomp, of course, could not protect itself on this turn because it was encored into Earthquake. An Earthquake it would have loved to land, would have been a KO into Basculegion, a bunch of damage into Floette, but there was no...
Basculegion was the change that Emilio needed.
Floette can move first and just KO Garchomp, and now it's Charizard against the world. 3 Pokemon on the other side for Emilio. Charizard's going to have his
Protected.
Pokemon
Oh,
out for him.
really?
A Protect for the Floette keeps it
That's risky. Oh, okay.
Basculegion as well. Don't
Double
wanna take
protect.
any risks
That's
here.
not risky.
Stall out as many turns of the sun as possible. If for some reason something unusual happens, like a critical hit.
Right, still have to be watching out. Floette's going to get some damage back. Basculegion might be able to get some damage back with Aqua Jet.
Aqua Jet,
Not
nice.
you're going to immediately
Big damage.
get a KO here.
Yeah, I mean the Moonblast can still do a lot, and so
Oh.
Floette's going to take advantage of that very
Is it
aura.
enough?
Get a nice charge,
no.
but it takes one more in order to
Okay,
get
yeah, a
that
crit
knockout.
can be problematic.
Charizard actually do enough work here while it still has both Pokemon. And
Oh,
then Floette
shh.
is very close to getting knocked
That's
out.
big. It was a crit.
Going to make
See?
that blow even softer on the next turn.
Yeah, you almost asked for it there with the critical hit, but Floette should be able to just move first.
But Eng-Pt is here now, so Sucker Punch, easy. Yeah. Easy, good game, bro. Good game. Chaos won with the song, and thanks to investment and Citrus. Leave the Mega Blast, Water Spout, and Pelipper Muddy Water with both spread moves being single target. Wow! Semi-Power didn't want to disappoint. No, it was good. Very good from Semi. Emilio Forbes loses game number 1, but turns around and wins the 2 matches. Yeah, very well played from Emilio. Very well played. Well done, bro. Well done. Okay, I'll go to the bathroom real quick, guys. See you in a second.
In game 3, it was all Emilio from start to finish, had the pressure on turn 1, and never let that pressure up.
That Basculegion is just such a dominant Pokemon. You got that one-hit knockout onto the Sylveon immediately. You threatened an additional amount of damage with the increased priority from the Aqua Jet. And even though that the sun went up, that Basculegion still did some good work onto that Charizard to make sure that the Floette and the Kingambit could clean up this 3rd game in the end.
There's a reason it's been number 1 in usage at all our Pokemon Champions events so far. Threatened so much damage, and there's a reason that Floette is number 1 Mega this weekend because it is such a valuable Pokemon can put out so much damage, can withstand hits at the right time, and can beat so many of those important mega threats like Garchomp on the other side.
And also the way that Emilio actually built this Floette. We see a number of different iterations of this Pokemon, but you've got 3 fairy type attacks, you've got Moonblast, you've got Dazzling Gleam, and the Light of Ruin that Emilio got to show off in that very first game. And it's just so interesting to see the variations that we have come through for each trainer's preference.
Yeah, this Floette is not slowing down to boost itself up. Instead of trying to take maximum advantage of Tailwind turns when Whimsicott gives them over, trying to make sure it can always land KOs and finish games up.
Well, enough from us. We're going to throw it over to Scott's thoughts in the Analyst Lounge with Lee, so please take it away.
Thank you very much. What an exciting match to start out this tournament, right? Maybe one of the best players in the world against actually 2 of the recent regional champions in both regions, right? Where, I guess I forgot, Marco won last weekend as well. So
yeah, it was on fire last week in Turin. So coming into this one in real good form, and you think he has changed up the 6 that he's brought from Turin. Really interesting 6 as well, and got off to a great start in that match as well.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking he was going to run away with this one at first. And yeah, interesting team choice, right? We saw the Paris Trap team from the last weekend. We were kind of theorizing backstage, like, oh, I wonder what he's going to bring this time. Where, Paris Trap is kind of a nice team to bring. Where like, well, it's not really like a thing that you're hiding, right? It's like it works the way it works. You're just playing chess. I was curious if he had something a little like spicier. This is like sort of spicy for a Charizard team, but Charizard, despite being a fire type, kind of like the least spicy thing you can bring to this format.
Yeah, definitely that. I do love the Farigiraf. I think I've been a bit of an advocate for it, especially with the Charizard. It's something that I've been playing around with, and I think there's a lot of value there. And with that Trick Room switch, it counterplays the Whimsicott very well, which we're seeing have so much success, right? We had the Japan National Championships last week. The team that Emilio's playing in pretty much the same 6, very similar, but yeah, what Marco's brought, I think you make a good point, Scott, where if you're coming in with the team that you had success with last week in Turin, everyone's probably kind of counterplaying that all week, or at least got really good game plans going into that. So it's probably not the best idea for you to come in with it, knowing that everyone's prepared and that team has a big target on its back. So it's nice to see the mix-up here and some really interesting choices. You've got the Farigiraf with that Trick Room switch there that supports the Incineroar, min speed on that Incineroar as well, and then the Sylveon as well, which we saw in Game 1 have a real big impact.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting looking at this team too, where we kind of a circular metagame with Regulation MA, where we saw a lot of this early on, where it's like before Charizard and Floette started getting paired so much, right? Often it was, it was after the first time that Charizard and Floette gets paired so much, really, where Sylveon started like taking that job, and then as we started seeing with the live events, oh, it's not really what's happening in real life. It's mostly been that Charizard getting paired with Floette instead. But you do have some advantages with Sylveon. I think being able to threaten the Trick Room mode is a big one, and we kind of end up seeing that throughout the course of the set, where Sylveon so much slower gives you an option that you wouldn't have with the Floette, who's generally faster than Charizard is. And I think it's fun to see Incineroar on this team comp as well. Kind of a Pokemon I think kind of been overlooked in like the first half of Regulation MA. Gradually we're remembering that it's the best Pokemon in nearly every format, and looking pretty good here as well. I think to jump back and look quickly at Emilio's team a little bit as well, I think this is a really interesting team call. This is the sort of thing I always get a little spooked when I see players lock in, where it's like, oh, there's not a whole lot of like text going on. Like you've really just got to outplay people every round. However, it's Emilio, right? If it's someone who's just going to like, well, I know you know what I have.
Hi everybody, I'm back. Welcome.
Just a little bit better than the other players playing this archetype. He's the sort of player who can do that.
Yeah, 100%. I think Emilio just...
They analyzing?
Players around the world we know from all of the time
all right.
on broadcast and the finishes that they've had, but you're quite right.
So let's play some Pokémon Champions.
Your playstyle, your ability as a player, be able to take this team, even though the majority of the player base know what to do against it, you can outplay them, and I think we really saw that in this match here with Emilio's choices there. And we've got the Floette that is a very offensive one in this team comp as well.
Yeah, we see I think the Whimsicott getting led all 3 games. Floette starts out this one, get like kind of a classic combination on the other side with that Charizard and the Aerodactyl, but threatening a lot of damage and kind of critically threatening that wide guard as well. It is a little different Aerodactyl. We've seen a lot of players opting to go for the Mega Aerodactyl on the 1 Mega version of Charizard instead, but because of that, making a nice read here as well, where the Whimsicott winds up getting a little scared with the potential of getting 2 tapped by 2 spread moves here, protecting. So Tailwind doesn't go off of that first game. I think the absence of that in game 2 and 3 is sort of what leads us to the eventual result.
Yeah, and now you're in that position where you do...
I do wonder what Pokemon will come out in next regulation, because there is some Pokemon I'm missing or some items I'm missing, but don't Mega Staraptor in the game like now. There are other Megas, but I'm a Staraptor guy to the end of my day. I think Mega Staraptor will come later. Because I think there are very strong Megas, and I think they'll come later. I don't think they'll be coming recently.
Pairing the chip from the rock slide as well from the Aerodactyl,
Huh?
but making a really good adjustment with that Sylveon here, knowing that you've got that wide guard support and the Whimsicott in that position where it has to catch up with its own tailwind.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a big part of this match in general. The players are so quick about getting those replacement Pokemon in and realizing that they could be put in positions where, they're a predictable play would have been very exploitable, and Sylveon getting there quickly, not threatening a knockout of both of these Pokemon, which kind of continues to put Emilio on the back foot.
Oh no,
Also
it's fine, it's fine.
We saw this back and forth in the Whimsicott Aerodactyl matchup, both in Game 1 and in Game 3, and one of the tricky things there is that, well, they can both use Tailwind, but Aerodactyl really doesn't want to use Tailwind in front of Whimsicott, right? You wind up in that spot where you have to either try to boldly just assume that they're going to predict the switch and not encore you, or risk kind of get trapped and winding up in a very negative position there. So even though the Tailwind happens, Sylveon comes in there, and since it's a threatening both these Pokemon, it's like, well, yeah, you're really going to try to encore my Tailwind here, kind of ceases being a viable option.
Yeah, and I really like the Tailwind from the Aerodactyl, and it was a bit of a passive play from Emilio to go for the Protect, but it was so threatened. It was a nice lead from Marco, putting themselves ahead, and then from that point on, getting the Sylveon.
I want to continue using the superior team. Yeah, let's go. That's funny, that's funny.
Len and Roz mentioned it as well, where it was a pretty easy switch because you've got the wide guard support to protect against the rock slide. We never really saw what the Garchomp did there because of the flinch on the Garchomp, but also if it goes for the Dragon Claw, then
let's
it's
go.
null and void anyway into that Sylveon that has the immunity. So really nice play to get it in then. We do see kind of Marco be able to show off some of the defensive calculations on the team as well with that Sucker Punch lightning through and being able to for the Charizard to take that.
Oh, interesting. What the hell is this team?
Yeah, I think two pieces of critical information in the game one. I think the lighter rune here, and then I think I skipped past it, but we did see Sylveon and Kingambit interact in the turn before this one, which, like, critically, Sylveon moved first there. I think because of that, probably both trainers are expecting, oh, surely this Sylveon is faster than the Kingambit is. I think the casters are kind of talking around it. We don't want to reveal any information that the players haven't seen already, but, I think when we first saw the interaction, we looked at the team sheets like, oh, wait a second, that number next to speed is the same for both of these Pokemon.
Yeah, I think like Marco came out on the better end of it in both situations where it kind of mattered, right? But then after that kind of cleanup where the Sylveon was able to get off that big Hyper Voice, take the Iron Head, and then the Charizard, of course, taking the double up, Marco in a really commanding position where you think, do they just go the same again? Do they lead the same thing? But completely switching it up and going down that Trick Room route with the Fergaraf.
Yeah, it's one of the things I really like about this version of the team, as we'll see kind of a really effective Trick Room setup. And we'll see the same leads from Emilio's side of the field in both the two games that he ends up winning here with Game 2 and Game 3. But yeah, I mean, I think it's really neat, right? Where you just don't have this sort of option with the Floette Charizard teams where, you can get in your opponent's head a little bit. It's like, oh, am I going to play with Floette or am I going to play with Charizard? But fundamentally, they play very similar, where there's a much bigger deviation with the Trick Room and the Sylveon.
We can see in this game too, I think, as well, a real good adjustment. This is where Emilio really starts to kind of get themselves back into this game by bringing the Basket Legion here. I think the Incineroar lead as well helped Marco out to no end here because that intimidate onto the Basket Legion just means that Wave Crash, like we saw in Game 3, wasn't able to pick up the knockout, allowing then the Fergaraf to get that Trick Room up and put the Sylveon into a better position. But as you know, we've talked about the speed interactions between the Gambit and the Sylveon. Very risky, a coin flip here, who goes first, right? And Marco again coming off on the better end of it, getting that all-important Hyper Voice off into the Basket Legion, which I think once that goes down, the game becomes a lot harder for Emilio to kind of close things up.
Yeah, things look really bad at this point, right? Where things like Marco is about to take a decisive advantage. Get another nice switch to get the Kingambit here. I think without that switch, it's Emilio's probably not able to eventually pull this one back. And yeah, there's that speed interaction. Probably surprised both players, and not really any reason to believe it would be a tie based on the first interaction because you're expecting Sylveon to be quicker most of the time.
Yeah, because if Kingambit goes first there, then Basket Legion sticks around another turn, and then I think things play out a little bit.
I'm faster than the Floette, interesting.
From this point, probably a little bit easier for Emilio, but so probably good information.
Oh, the Moonblast is superior, really? Oh, that's a knockout. That's probably most likely a GG.
Although we do get a lot more information with the stat alignments now and over the team sheets, there's still a lot to discover during the battle, but here we go, Marco getting that Incineroar in on the field, and we know that is a negative speed stat alignment, which will be going before anything else in this Trick Room, and that's where the pressure comes in, because the King Gambit hasn't got the ability to use that Sucker Punch, and even though it has got the Orca Berry, it's in that spot where with the Charcoal boost on the Incineroar is being pressured very heavily for a knockout with the Flare Blitz.
Yeah, I think these next few turns are really what decides this match. I mean, obviously there's a pretty serious miscue once a Trick Room expires that we'll get to in a second. But like Len mentioned, right, I think typically you're playing these Trick Room teams. If you get the Trick Room up safely, it's kind of how well did you exploit those Trick Room turns that kind of determines whether you're able to close this one out or not. We're just going to see a series of turns here where Marco's just not quite able to get enough. Doesn't double tap the Whimsicott here, which I think really very critically would have gotten to a Pokemon advantage where his opponent wouldn't be able to switch anymore, which that makes it much easier where you start having predictable turns like, okay, this Pokemon can't protect, I can just pick up the knockout, I can move the game state forward. He wasn't able to remove that complication, and then because of that, winds up swinging into protects a few times over this turn, causing him to need to get one more read right, and then he eventually really doesn't. Yeah,
and the Whimsicott switch here, really useful, especially with that Focus Sash, and we've seen Whimsicotts in lead up to this event not carry that item, but so useful in this scenario here, just to allow you to get through these really dangerous turns. And I think the fact of not protecting the Floettes here really useful as well, because that damage onto the Incineroar inevitably put that Incineroar into a position where it wasn't able to get any sort of value to close the game up for Marco later on down the line.
Yeah, I think it makes it a little more predictable here too, where as we're going to see in a second, I'm just going to skip around, I think, to the
oh, nice
turn of this one. But
oh, perfect.
One of the critical elements of this here, it's right here somewhere. But I think one of the critical elements of this game is it one more? Maybe. Well, we'll get there eventually. Let's watch it. For everybody. I think one of the critical elements of this game, right, is because it gets so low on the HP there, you kind of realize, okay, well, if we haven't closed this game up, I really need Incineroar to knock Floette out, which makes you predictable, right? Emilio also knows that Marco's going to be looking for that swing, so because of that, just doesn't provide, or doesn't give it to him, gets a protect off, able to get a cheeky attack off here, where I think that would have been a potential game-throwing move. Instead, Floette able to survive the Trick Room, and now the offense goes the other way. He gets King Gambit out for free, and despite its low HP, able to get both these Pokemon kind of attacking whatever he wants. As you mentioned before, it's that Brave stat alignment from the Incineroar. Kind of a fun element of the open natures as well, or open stat alignments, where both trainers kind of knowing what that speed interaction is going to be like. And Charizard seems like a pretty safe switch here, right? Where surely you're just going to double down this Farigiraf. So I'm going to try to get the Trick Room off, but really I'm hoping to get Charizard in relatively safely. Maybe my Farigiraf will survive this double, and instead it ends in disaster.
Yeah, and I think that's always the risk here, because you could potentially, if you're Marco, allow the Incineroar just to go down and then bring the Charizard in fresh, and then...
I could have Dragon Dance this turn, actually.
We've seen the double up survival from the previous game, so you know you can get a heat wave off, which might have been the difference to pull Marco back into this here, but that Kowtow cleave, double up with the Dazzling Gleam, really nice.
Because Downflip now just knocks out the Sneasler with a acrobatics. I can stop it, because I don't have Protect on the Sneasler. GG.
So it's a clean sweep, there's no risk really there. So switching to Charizard, and you can see the thinking behind it for Marco to try and get something leverage that onto the field, but it really did not play out, and I think that the high caliber of Emilio as a player just caught him out so well there.
And so I just missed the tailwind to start off game 3, but so we're going to look at that in just a second. But yeah, I think one final thought in the second game. Yeah, I think exactly. I think one thing maybe Marco's better at than almost any player in the world is kind of like winning turns, right? Where he's so good at anticipating what his opponent's going to do, and kind of like making those really flashy looking switches where he just totally negates his opponent's action. I think even last week in the event he won, though, he's like winning turns but not always winning the game, and I think sometimes it can be easy to get caught up in like, oh, I'm going to get this turn right, I'm going to make this great read, but he didn't need to there, right? And I think, obviously Heat Wave miss would still have lost him the game, but he had a very high percentage chance just by letting those Pokemon get knocked out and then bringing Charizard in. I think instead maybe trying to make a read he didn't need to make, and introducing more risk instead of removing it by hitting that read.
Yeah, and there was a possibility, I think, there as well of Farigiraf maybe just going for the side there, knowing that there was so much emphasis onto that Gambit slot, but of course there was also the risk of Kowtow, but like you say, just making sure the safety, I think with the Charizard coming in as healthy as possible in that scenario helps you lock up the game a lot more, but unfortunately for Marco did not play out like that.
Yeah, and I think this last game, maybe we see what the game plan for game 2 was supposed to be with Emilio getting maybe more what he expected from Marco with a more similar looking roster to that first game. So that huge knockout on Sylveon immediately, but critically getting the Tailwind up for free, and this time without Charizard there to help Aerodactyl out. kind of being intimidated into not using
King-Pt Clefable. I think that's the Zoroark, the Clefable.
Rock Slide could be pretty critical on the Basket Legion there too. I don't know exactly how much damage it would have done, but we eventually see it survive with I think 53 HP, which is enough for like it's possible Rock Slide could have done it. A critical hit definitely would have.
Yeah, I think it probably did come into
Let's go, fake tiers over there.
in this game, but I think
Boost our special defense.
Marco probably conditioned into not wanting to go with Incineroar again in this game 3 because of the threat there of a King Gambit. And like you say, I think the value that Sylveon provided in games 1 and 2 feels good.
Oh, nice.
But really
Perfect.
getting punished by Emilio's lead here because you've got no way to weaken that Basket Legion like we saw in that game 2, where it was able to take the wave crash. This time around, Emilio being able to really just capitalize with the Basket Legion for free almost, where now you can get rid of the Sylveon.
Oh, that's the Zoroark.
Now it becomes
That's the
very
Zoroark.
difficult for Marco to get back into this game, especially when you haven't got that tailwind active and you're still staring down in front of an on-call Whimsicott.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of dominance from here, right? Where it winds up in a position where I think Emilio kind of just has this flow charted from the way out here. Aerodactyl's going to get double.
I just keep fake tiering myself to boost my special defense. They're boosting their special attack. Everything goes fine.
Easily wind up the situation. Well, you know, Charizard's probably not going to 3v1. I think
Oh, okay. So do big damage here to the Clefable.
Come on, guys, we've seen this before, but kind of not, right? I think the specific decisions these
Nice.
teams made on the way that they used their Charizard teams, I think, was really important. But that Mystic Water on the Basket Legion is a big deal as well, where there's a little bit more damage than trainers are expecting, right?
Let's go healing.
High levels are kind of getting bulkier and bulkier. We're seeing a lot more of that citrus berry in particular, and you know, instead with the Mystic Water here, it's a little bit more damage you're expecting. At that point, I think you're almost always guaranteed to knock out even the bulkiest of Charizards through Drought, so it makes it a little bit harder to play that.
Yeah, they allow my superior to get super boosted.
Yeah,
And I like that.
This match in particular really shows why the 6
Let's go, let's go.
using are so dominant because
They go for the same play, that's fine.
Do against maybe some of the obscure picks. We saw the Ferrograph go for the Psychicon to the Floette, and it's just nowhere near enough of what you're needing to do. Whereas everything on Emilio's side, when it seemed to land an attack, was really hitting for huge damage and significant damage alongside that, where it was putting Marco almost in these awkward positions where they were even having to switch or try and get their own Trick Room or Tailwind set up in scenarios where they were on the back foot a lot of the time, especially game 2 and 3 after the adjustment from Emilio. So can you match the damage trade?
Big healing.
These 6 Pokemon. It's
Pokemon fan, yes sir.
especially when you haven't kind of matching Pokemon for Pokemon. Yes, you've got the Incineroar with the Charcoal, but I think Marco, we saw here, struggled to get the Sun Up to even get that Incineroar into position, and you're always going to be taking that recoil damage, which we saw in game 2 was the detriment of the Incineroar in the end, where it just wasn't able to have the longevity to close the matchup like Marco probably would have liked.
Yeah, I mean, incredible match here too.
That's the real King Gambit.
We got here with two of the best players in the world, 2 recent regional champions facing off. I hopefully enjoyed that match of this breakdown, and we're gonna have a bunch of more great matches for you throughout the course of this weekend.
Protect
so
here.
We're gonna do a quick break, and then soon we'll have round 2.
I want to knock out the King Gambit here. The Zoroark, which is the King Gambit on the right.
One of the top trainers in North America, Justin Tang, getting ready for NAIC. You just got
Oh, we faster.
came here to start getting ready.
Oh yeah,
How
because
you feeling for the weekend?
it was being followed me all over again.
But overall, not feeling awful. It's just like how the format feels to me. So yeah.
Now,
Oh, this Tang, Justin Tang is there. I like his content.
Pokemon Champions
Strawberry,
playing in
welcome to the
India.
stream.
So, in an official capacity, are you worried that you missed out on some of that?
I did some emotes on Red Pokemon character last year. Oh, nice. That's cool.
Like on the ladder and stuff,
Did badges to on Snorlax. Nice. So I want to protect here.
2 weeks I've been
And I want to Dragon Dance as well.
the same as in-person tournament, but I feel like I'm still getting the reps in I'm doing. But we'll see. Obviously, maybe I'm at a slight disadvantage because, like, I only played in Scar and Violet, only Terra. First, I'm going Megas. We'll see what happens if I'm a one-trick thing, but we'll see. We'll see.
Nah, I have faith. Hey, listen, you were great at right off the jump in Scarlet and Violet. I think you'll be great right off the jump in Pokemon Champions. We talk about the meta, and obviously Mega Charizard Y, Mega Follette, they're very prominent Mega Evolutions in this format, and it feels like you kind of have to. You look at Japan Nationals, 5 of the 8 top 8 teams were that core. Some other times, at least Arsenal won Indy with it, even though it was lesser represented in top 8.
Before this, I didn't know much about Pokemon. It's kind of hard to miss. It's the biggest IP in the world. Oh, Ancient Power.
I mean,
What?
all the Japanese players players call it Big
That's
Six,
super rare though.
new Big Six.
It was a crit, bruh.
Something, so, yeah, I don't know.
Now I'm screwed because Sucker Punch just picks the knockouts, so I need to bring Snizzler and Fake out.
Honestly, I don't think anything really counters the top Charizard teams right now because it's just so consistent.
Game is going good, it's going good.
Always the top, so.
And what do you think about the different regions? Obviously, we have the whole world coming together from all over the globe, so it's not just like the North American player base and their archetypes, their play styles. You got to deal with how Europe plays, how Japanese players tend to play in other regions as well, right? So
Yeah,
we
I
saw,
need
counters. We saw a bunch of different Pokemon trying to beat those top teams.
I need Superior to go down this turn.
You don't
Hopefully that
know
happens.
necessarily what type of play style you're going to go up against.
I need a Fake
I
out.
think as long as you're covering the general top results from each of those starting
Nice.
because, like, you know, since this format, we've had Indy, we had Tyrann, we had
Oh, they went for perfect.
Nationals, right? So, like,
That's what I need.
covering that top cut
Nice.
of both, basically, and saying that I'm gonna realistically face any of these teams because they're doing consistently well, right? Then you should be fine. And it helps that even though there's some funny tech pieces like the Lycan Rock
Okay,
or
now we
whatever,
come in
it's
here.
still standard Frost Slash. So as long as you have lines to do some of the top archetypes, you will be fine. So try to
Okay, thanks for the follow.
practice it beforehand. So yeah.
And the last one for you, you have an absurd amount of championships.
I don't know if I can pick a knockout on the Charizard.
Obviously, that you're going to be in
I have to Fake out there.
the threshold, right? So does that
Maybe they protect the Charizard, could go for a coaching, but it doesn't matter.
a high performance, but you want to perform, you want to show that you're one of the best players in North America, right? So do you put internal yourself to
well
play
played.
well when you don't
Well played.
necessarily need the championship points for your
They both
championship
protected,
worlds?
yeah. Okay. But I can protect close combat now.
I've gotten better in a sense where to not be too hard myself.
No,
there's only so
it was
much
my girlfriend that threw
in
those.
this game. 'Cause, like, right
It wasn't
now, like,
me.
I've been mostly consistent, you know, all the day twos, all the top cuts, but I'm not going in expecting to always top cut. I'm gonna go in, give it my best, and ideally I will be in that day two top cut. We'll see what happens. And I think the main thing is it's my first Champions tournament, so I want to prove that I still got
Those
it.
are cool, thank you, thank you.
All right, hey, we'll see. We wish you the best of luck. I know I'll be rooting for Justin. For now, we'll be back with more Pokemon action.
Okay. Game 2.
That is a 10th regional win. That is inconceivable.
Ah, they went for the double protect. Good play. Focus Ash? No, okay. Why didn't you add animated ones like twerking and many more? Because no time. Just that. Just no time to do those.
And I am from Washington, D.C. I feel incredible, honestly. You know, 10 regional championships is
Oh,
something I set a
miss?
goal
No, okay.
ages ago. 6, 7
Like, I don't know if I can... Oh, nice! Oh, that's so good.
even winning one regional championship.
Because now I can coaching Dragon Claw. Or just Direct Claw, Dragon Claw.
Now to be sitting here and to be able
Coaching will give me another attack boost.
it feels
I think I just Direct Claw, Dragon Claw.
and to do it with
And we win.
my favorite strategy of all time. It's a really great feeling, and I feel very proud and just very lucky. The team that I brought to the Toronto Regional
Yeah,
Championships is a team,
nice.
with
Very
strategy
beautiful.
Perish Trap. It
Bro,
involves
it was difficult. This game was difficult, but we came out on top.
strategy of all time. It's extremely difficult to
Nice.
play, but I love it. I love it.
Mega Charizard X and Sneasler coming on top.
This is my third regional championship win with
Yeah, thank you for the proposal. I'm not interested at the moment.
player to have ever won a tournament with a dedicated Perish Trap team. So
Let's go, let's go. Good win there. Superior really helped.
one MVP Pokemon on the team, I would pick Politoed. It's the one Pokemon that
And
brought
Sneasler surviving
the game, and there
was really important.
without bringing it.
Polytoad can
That heat wave.
The weather ball again consistent. A critical hit, bringing it down to 5 HP.
During Game 3 of the finals, I was able to pull off a technique
Ooh, nice
that,
team.
I knew was theoretically possible, but didn't think could actually ever work in practice. And in Game 3 of the finals, there was a moment where I was able to pressure my opponent to not switch out his most important Pokemon without actually technically trapping it on the field. It was something that was really memorable that I didn't think that I'd ever actually pull it off in a tournament, let alone in Game 3 of the finals. And so it felt like a moment where I surpassed my own limits and where I kind of improved in real time over the course of a match. And yeah, it was just like a really exciting and memorable moment for me.
So weather
Nice. Cool story from Wolfie there. 10-time regional championship, world champion, national champion. Best Pokemon player in the history of the world.
taking down the Toronto Regional Championship.
I began competing back in 2011 when I was a freshman.
2011, that's crazy.
A itself is one of those things. I just think it's such a fascinating, interesting, complex, challenging game, and I really like how it pushes me and how it challenges me.
Yeah, it's very challenging and complex. That's why I love Pokemon as well. Wolf is right here.
Kept me tied to this game for so long. It's not the championship victories or the feeling of redemption after a bad tournament. It's the people, and it is
The people, yeah.
wonderful, wonderful people. who
Because it promotes a lot of intelligent people as well.
shape me into the person who I am today, a person who I can be proud of. I get asked, a decent bit about what's the big picture here, right? Like, what's the grand motivation? What's your master rule, right? The truth is that there isn't some grand motivation. I
Nice.
don't have this big master plan. I don't have this thing that I'm chasing that this thing that nobody else has ever done that I want to be the one to do. It's nothing like that. It's just the
Meowstic,
very simple
good.
fact that I like
Good
it.
bulk.
I like competing. I just think it's fun to play Pokemon, and I really enjoy it. What I really want to do is
I want another Fick Tears. Do I Leech Seed?
and to continue to get better. And if that leads to more championships,
I think because this might force them to switch out. I'll Leech Seed both. Because they're both special attackers. Plus 4 special defense, plus healing, plus leftovers. It's gonna crazy. It's crazy.
There's no one person who sits in that chair who I would be like, oh man, can I do this? Like, I have to believe that I
Oh,
can.
nice. Meowstic survives. It's really good.
Am I going to win Worlds this year?
Freeze on Meowstic. Ay, ay, ay.
Foolish to sit here and tell you yes. But I will tell you that
Double Leech Seed.
and I think that actually to me is more meaningful.
That's doing no damage. We're defending really well here. Oh, the Arch also has lefties. That's okay. But now I have 2 Leech Seed healing just for me. Nice. Now I need to start boosting my special attack.
Welcome back, everybody, to New Orleans.
Welcome back, welcome back.
In 2026 North America International Championships. So excited to be coming back to the desk for Swiss Round 2.
Man, that first one got us off to a hot start. 2 of the best players in the world in a very exciting match. If that is what we have in store all weekend, it's going to be very fun.
I feel like that's always the case, though, when it comes to these international championships, because it's always like banger after banger after banger. All
Man,
the best
yeah.
competitors in the world, and we get
Yeah,
so
those games are
much
great.
international
International championships are just great games.
International competition as
In
well.
scene doesn't really
Last
matter.
year We had a European regional champion
Right.
versus an American regional champion. It's very fun to see.
I'm not
together
+6.
in tournaments.
And guess what we have
Unfortunately.
for this next one?
Would it be another European
'Cause of the
player versus an
freeze.
American player?
Well, I suppose yes. Seems to me that might be a trend here, as we do have quite a few of the top European players joining us from over the pond. But this one will be between the 2025 World Champion Giovanni Siski and
Oh,
top 6
I really like Giovanni
of the
Siski.
same World Championships, Teo Team Masal.
Also top 4 at an IC just in the fall, and so definitely a player to be watching for this weekend. And Gio, had been a player
Snizzler
really talking about
for
a
a fake out.
mentioned Gio as one of the big threats going into Worlds last year, and then he capitalized on it. He's a lot of players' most respected players, and so always a threat to take home a tournament.
I know everybody is still looking at Gio, hopefully, to be able to get that regional title that has escaped him for so long.
Oh, Giovanni doesn't have the regional title, only a world champ. Okay, that's interesting.
Would take an IC trophy as
Yeah.
well. Would love to get
Add
that
one
this
to the
weekend.
cabinet.
So yeah, and then lots of other really strong players in these pairings this round. You see Patrick Connors, of course, North American International Championship champion from just a couple of years ago. Lots of other strong players here trying to make their way through day 1 and keep the hopes alive.
Oh,
And Teo Team
Okay.
Masal is missing out
Ah,
on
that's
the World
fine.
Championship
That's fine by me.
that has multiple top 4s, top 8s, even getting second place at a regional championship.
I'm just
last
boosting my
year.
own special attack, so that's fine.
excited
Big
to
damage.
see all these competitors come over, and we do get that international showdown. Something that we don't usually get until the World Championships. I feel like that's really, of course, where we're going to see all of them, because we have even greater representation from those countries.
Right, being able to see all of the different countries come together to compete. I want to call it one of these notable matches is an 0-1 match. Marco, after having to play against Emilio last round, runs into Joji this round. That's a pretty difficult draw for your round 2 after you lose round 1.
That's really hard. But I mean, I think that's going to be the case across the board. Someone's got to win and someone's got to lose. That's just the nature of Pokemon.
Yep.
So when you have the Swiss rounds where you're
Can I +6 special attack?
competitors with the same win-loss record against each other, there's just going to be some wild pairings like that.
Yeah, some difficult rounds, but you've got to be able to beat the best if you want to come out on top. And so both players
Oh, that's a crit.
prove it in the second round.
So what are our competitors using in this tournament? Let's take a look at our meta for day
Bruh.
1. Phase 1, I guess, if you will, because we're going to be playing around a Phase 2 tonight.
Really?
But is there anything that really surprises you on this list?
Well, a couple things jump out to me.
That's
from
fine, that's
overall
fine.
usage at the first couple of regional championships. First of all, King Gambit managing to take the top slot. King Gambit and Basculegion, both Pokemon, they just have so many stats with them that they can really fight well in this current metagame that's so much
Dragon Dance. Here we
It's
go.
surprising to see Sneasler
Ooh,
moving
top
up
12 Pokemon on phase 1.
I think it was number 5 in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago, now all the way up.
King Gambit, Basculegion.
Floette
Really?
takes the top mega usage
Floette.
away from
Sinise.
Charizard.
Oh,
That's a
Frostlass
really
is there
high
too.
usage for a mega
Nice.
Pokemon.
I like that.
Almost 40% of teams have Floette.
And that Charizard on the screen is going to be representative of Charizard Y and Charizard X, since we put them into the same Charizard bucket. So the percentage of Charizard Y is going to be a little less than 30%.
A little bit less, maybe like 29.5, 30% or something. But there's a few Charizard X out there. And then Frostlass making into the top 12, really stabilizing as that number 3 mega. Even most Aerodactyl, mini Aerodactyl at least won't have the Mega Stone, but Frostlass will always have it. Very clearly now the number 3 mega in usage.
I mean, Burgraff, though, I think creeping up in the usage, that's going to be a Pokemon that we did already get a chance to see Marco showcase in that first set.
Oh.
Has the ability to set up Trick Room, but you also have
What?
the Armor Tail ability that is just so powerful. When you see King Gambit, the Sucker Punch, as the top usage Pokemon, Basculegion with Aqua Jet as the second use Pokemon, 2 Fake Out users following right behind them, Armor Tail is perfect to block all those priority moves.
Armor Tail can really help keep a team stable, and then Trick Room so underrepresented in the format right now that I think a lot of players are making similar calls like Marco did in last round, that if teams are a little bit less prepared for it, maybe you don't have to invest as much into Pokemon like Sinistcha and Burgraff. If you can get a Trick Room up, you might be able to really take some momentum in a game.
That's a good point. Sinistcha feels like kind of the primary or the premier Trick Room user in the format, but mostly because it
Want
has
to go for
access
another
to
coaching?
other tools.
And it really represents an archetype unto itself. We've seen a lot of Floette plus...
And Flare Blitz to Frosty?
In Turin last week, the Floette plus Charizard X paired, but always with Sinistcha and Incineroar as the rest of that.
Yeah, that's why I went for another coaching here.
These top usage Pokemon are really about their damage. King Gambit, Basculegion, Garchomp, they're just there to do damage.
Oh, this is
Sneasler,
perfect.
other than
Making this Sneasler faster.
just there for its damage. And so Sinistcha and Incineroar represent that kind of other archetype.
We're still +1.
Being able to play more balanced, keep your
They go for Aurora Veil, that's fine.
and keep damage mitigated with great
Flare,
cover.
this should be a knockout, I think, the Flare Blitz.
Try to set up something
Unless they have a lot of defense investment on the Frostlass.
Many
Yeah,
interesting megas
nice.
that are left off of this top 12 Pokemon usage, but let's see what we have to
True, the only 2 megas in the top 12 are like the Frostlass, the Floette, and the Charizard. Some cool teams. I know that's the casted predictions, okay.
And you get to use your favorite.
Or the teams that they would bring, okay, that's different.
Of course, with Garchomp and Corviknight as well, I was definitely inspired seeing Michael Zank perform so well in Indianapolis, and so, made a little twist to it myself, used some Tyranitar sets and Garchomp sets I like, but this has been my go-to on the Pokemon Champions ladder since that tournament. It's been really fun to play.
I also had Sand as the archetype I would have brought to Indianapolis, but now that things have started to settle out a little bit, and I saw Turin, I said, okay, I'm in the boat. I gotta bring Sylveon.
Do you feel good that you and Marco are on exactly the same page here?
Well, he lost that round 1, so maybe.
Well, maybe that was because he had the Incineroar, so...
Oh, true. Yes, I don't have Incineroar on this team. I have the Basculegion.
Which was the thing that came out on top, so maybe you're in the right spot.
Maybe I'm
Oh,
more
nice.
ahead of things. But look,
Nice.
here is
Nice
Jolteon
protect from me
and
there.
use of the Tyranitar,
I'm adamant.
Corviknight, and
So this close combat should pick the knockout.
we actually have a nice
No,
smattering of
but it's
other
okay.
archetypes that our lovely colleagues have picked
We're
out.
almost there.
Be representing that archetype I was just talking about of the supportive pieces, next to the boosting Pokemon. Of course, we saw Seijin Park hit top 4 at the
Yeah,
Korean
we survived that,
National
perfect.
Championships with that mode, but with full support next to it. Gabby kind of representing the option to have damage as well with Sneasler and Basculegion. Though I think we've seen more success from this version of the team since that tournament. And then
Spread
we
our
bring
damage.
Rain to the show
I think the switch
as
is
the
Cine
Alto
out.
and the Archaludon, but then a little bit of
In, I mean.
weather mixed
So I should have doubled up on the Arch.
I mean, kinda
Actually.
similar to the team you took inspiration
Close combat
from,
Dragon
but
Claw.
different
Yeah, I should have doubled up on the
routes.
Arch
Joe,
instead of
basically
spreading the damage here.
why would I
Yeah,
say it?
because now they heal and they have a defense boost. I don't think the Charizard can pick up the knockout. Another close combat and Dragon Claw would have done it.
Very powerful.
Oh, they just protect, so that's fine.
Know exactly what mode you're going to run into at any given moment. That feels like a really strong thing to have in this
Good
format.
stuff.
Teams like Gabby's that don't tell you which boosting mega they're going to show, or teams that don't show you which weather they're going to show, because the fights can happen so fast, so much damage coming out one way or another, that if you have to guess what
Another
you're going to
coaching.
do, it can make it really difficult. I mean, Marco's team was showing that with whether it's going to be Tailwind
Another
or Cricket.
Dragon
If you got
Dance.
the lead right and had the advantage, suddenly your opponent can have very difficult time recovering. And so presenting two options can be really crucial.
But like you and I both, for example, have 2 Mega Evolutions on our teams, but I feel like you don't have to Mega the Tyranitar, and you don't have to Mega the Aerodactyl. Just the fact that you have both of those as an option in a game is also very powerful.
Yeah, of course, along with Megas, one of the most notable format changes for Pokemon Champions compared to the last few Pokemon games is the restriction on items. There's very few items in the format right now, and that makes it way less costly to decide to use a second Mega Stone as just a sometimes I'll click this button kind of item, because
GG. Good Dragon Pulse. Yeah, I couldn't knock out
to put on Tyranitar, so maybe
because of the Incineroar and the defense boost.
I'm missing Assault Vest right now in the meta, that's for sure.
yeah, you help with some of these big. You take out some Floette Moonblasts a little bit better if the Salt Vest was around.
I mean, look at the special attackers.
Okay,
that
are we
have
starting
across the
soon
board.
or do I have time for another match here?
Gengar,
Because it's taking a
Frostlass,
while
Hydreigon,
for
Delphox,
to finish
Floette,
this round.
Ninetales, Milotic, Charizard, like
I think I
yeah,
can go for
some of
another
these
one.
Special attackers.
It's really interesting dynamic of the current format that Megas almost exclusively are special attackers. The top 3, Floette, Charizard, and Frostlass. And the non-Megas are almost exclusively physical attackers. Kingambit, Garchomp, Sneasler, and Basculegion. And so both offensive types are represented, but you are getting one from the Mega and one from those non-Mega Pokemon.
Well, I think for some of it, it's like the new Mega Evolutions, for example. If you're excited to play with
Oh,
new
weird
shiny
team.
Pokemon, a lot of the new ones, they do get a pretty powerful boost to their special attack. Like Frostlass, for example, that's one that I'm like, oh yeah, that's like a fun Pokemon. Delphox as well. You get a nice little boost there, and so it's just like it's fun to play around with.
They can pump out a ton of damage as well, and then really good abilities. You know, Delphox being able to gain Levitate, be immune to all the Garchomp Earthquakes running around, and then anytime you can get instant weather as an ability, that makes you a pretty good Pokemon.
That's
Lots on that
true.
last slide had abilities that gave them weather, whether it's Charizard or Frostlass. If you can set the weather, you're in a pretty good spot.
Tyranitar as well, if you want to overwrite weather. I think that's really the value that a lot of these weather setters have, and especially if you have one that's like an immediate presence on the field, then you get a little bit more flexibility in terms of how you want to run it. But that leads also to the timing of Mega Evolution. I think that's something I'm definitely keeping my eyes on this weekend. When are our top trainers actually utilizing Mega Evolution? And especially after the grand finals at the Indianapolis Regional Championships, I think that's the best example of being patient with that tool.
Yeah, for some matchups, you just want to click the button immediately. You know, in our last round, there wasn't really any reason for either player to hesitate to just Mega Evolve there. And sometimes you want to do it even if you're going to protect on that turn, so that if you have to switch out and switch back in, you'll have those higher stats if you ever have to switch back in. But sometimes it can be all about the patience, trying to find the right time to set the weather or to preserve your pre-Mega ability. And so certain Pokemon really want to hold it as long as they're there.
But I think that, you know, like Floette is, I think, a great example of that not being the case, because if you don't Mega Evolve, that might be a fainted Floette.
It's not even a fully evolved Pokemon.
Dragon Dance, here we go.
Yeah, definitely a Pokemon that does not want to be taking any attacks or trying to do any damage until it's used that move. You know, Frostlass, similarly, is at least a fully evolved Pokemon, but there's a reason you've not seen any Frostlass on these broadcasts until it gained a Mega Evolution.
What do you mean? You don't want Cursed Body to activate and you potentially disable a move on your opponent's team?
If we see a miraculous curse body switch in, disable this weekend, you'll have asked for it. You'll have made it happen.
Oh.
But I don't think
They
we're
just
gonna see
protect,
that in
okay.
this upcoming round.
No, I don't think so either, but who's to say?
I could have attacked.
Jump into Swiss
Oh,
round number 2.
now the game is starting, okay.
Championships, where Tio
God damn it.
Is going to face off against 2025 world champion Giovanni Siski.
I see a Dragonite.
That type of
I see Mega Delphox, nice.
About where Floette has Calm Mind, Delphox has Nasty Plot. You have 2 fake outs from Incineroar and Sneasler, and of course Sinistcha with Rage Powder and Hospitality.
I Dragon Dance again, because if they Mega, they will intimidate me.
King Gambit closes it out, not Basket Legion, so you have the damage threat in a different form. Meanwhile, on the other side, Geo has a lot of damage potential and kind of in a mixed way. Dragonite, they're holding a Mega Stone as well, so it's going to be a potent special attacker that keeps multi-scale after the Mega Evolution. And then Frostlass can also provide defense with Aurora Veil once it Mega Evolves, gets the Snow Warning, and has Snow set up. And then both players bringing Sneasler, both players bringing
Nice.
Gambit, some of these top meta threats that can put out so much damage. I think the question when you see a matchup like this is always, can Geo prevent the setup or withstand the setup once it happens? It can be a little bit difficult when you're playing a more passive team. You don't want to trade a turn of Aurora Veil for a turn of Nasty Plot or Calm Mind. You don't want to necessarily trade like relying just on multi-scale if you're going to have to take
We're back to +1
in the future, and so this can immediately be somewhat of an advantage for Tier Time.
Tier Time has a lot of experience
Beautiful.
with this team. Just came off the back of a top 64 at Turin with this exact 6.
I like that team
Either he has made
from
minor
Timothy.
adjustments to make this a little bit more impactful in the meta, or this is like a, hey, I think I was so close to being able to make it to the top cut, I'm gonna run it back.
Their team also has the Sword Stance on King Gambit, so adding a third setup option to the mix, so that if you don't feel like Floette's in a good position, or you don't feel like Delphox is in position, you can use those supportive tools to enable
Dragon
Sword
Dance
Stance.
again.
And then sometimes a play you can make is just to present both of them. So maybe you can stop one of these, but if I'm going to threaten both at once, you don't have the tools to stop that. So King Gambit rounds out the setup options on this team. And then some interesting little text here. Sneasler has Quick Guard, able to block some
Quick Guard on Sneasler, that's very interesting.
Delphox safe from Aqua Jet, for instance. You don't commit all the way to having a Frigoraph on the team, but if you have Quick Guard, you have another tool to try to keep Delphox safe without having to rely just on Sinistcha.
I was gonna say, what's the secret 7th Pokemon that Tier Time has on his team? Well, Giovanni, I think, has some great tools to be able to work with this, and again, the setup Pokemon that Tier Time has access to. Giovanni's team, this is actually going to be a pretty strong departure from what he ended up using to get top 32 at the Indianapolis Regional Championships.
Oh wow, that's a lot of
There,
damage.
He was using Charizard Y alongside Mega Aerodactyl and the Basculin, King Gambit, all the good stuff that you would have expected to see in this meta, but has
Oops.
since switched over to this Mega Dragonite and the Mega Frostlass with the other strong
I want to stop the Intimidate recycling.
Right, lots of strong supportive Pokemon around. Not many with surprising sets.
Nice.
King Gambit again has Sword Stance, so we talked earlier about all the different move options on King Gambit, but has no coverage move here, neither the low kick or the Iron Head.
Ooh, really?
Sneasler kind of interesting with
Overheat.
saying, I don't need Dire Claw. I'm not after sleep, so I'm not after paralysis.
Oh, the 2% survival is insane.
Trying to commit to if I land a poison jab on you, there's a really high chance that poison's coming through.
I think that
Clear
makes
of
a lot
can
sense,
miss?
though. When you think about the changes that have happened to status
Doesn't,
conditions
okay.
in Pokemon Champions, I think having a paralysis is way less impactful and valuable than a poison.
Paralysis was nerfed, sleep was nerfed, poison was
Yeah,
nerfed.
paralysis is really not bad now.
That can be really
I mean, it still reduces your speed.
12.5% per turn. And then Incineroar has a special defense boosting stat alignments showing it's not offensive like we saw in Marco's team in the last round, and then Citrus Berry on top of that is really going to be about trying to keep Dragonite and Frostlass, Basculegion, and King Gambit safe, providing more of a support role on this team. Dragonite opts for Tailwind here. Dragonite Pokemon that can have a lot of different moves. Sometimes we see the Mega Dragonite only on rain teams, so you can run Hurricane. Instead, no flying offense on this one. Instead, using the multi-scale to make sure you can get a Tailwind when you want it, and then using Dragon Pulse and Heat Wave, Dragon and Fire together, pretty potent offense. You can hit neutrally with Dragon Pulse, and then when there's a Steel on the other side, like the King Gambit, the Heat Wave helps round out the damage.
Dragonite is another one of those new megas I thought was so fun from ZA. Gets that nice boost to its special attack to make it a really potent special attacker. But if you were tuning into Scarlet and Violet, you might be wondering where's the
I think they switch here.
Where are the outrages?
the Manectric. So I double up on the Azu.
Right. When the Mega Evolution gives you a bunch of special attack, then the option to go physical isn't really
Nice.
there anymore. You might see some ordinary Dragonites out in the field as physical attackers, but the Mega Dragonite always going to be special and threatens a lot of damage back with Dragon Pulse.
Focus Sash.
Moments away from getting into game
No, just as well. Oh, bro. What?
North America International Championships between Team Masao and Giovanni Siski. Only one competitor can keep the undefeated record. I know it's still early in the day, but every win that you get.
Now Manectric is always being
making it to phase 2 of the competition.
threatened by the Aqua Jet.
But I'm very curious about this Mega Delphox.
Nice, I'm faster than their Sneasler.
Dragonite on Geo's team.
Right, I think it's
But
really
they'll fake out my Sneasler here.
players which Mega to bring.
Right.
Have this kind of supportive setup option. The Mega choice is the first really crucial one. I think the Floette probably more likely.
Now we just click Aqua Jet into Manectric.
Like, have a really difficult time ever breaking through the Dragonite. On the other side, you're not going to do it with Heat Waves. You're going to have to spin turns on Psychic. Floette has a much easier time there. But then from Geo's side, do you even go for the Dragonite? The Frostlass can be really disruptive.
Bro, come on, this guy's taking too much time. I want to watch the match. Very obvious protect. But if they, I have to play into that because if they don't protect.
Both of our trainers have selected on the lead. It's going to
Oh,
be
no fake out.
as the Mega Evolution of choice for Geo alongside that Sneasler, and it's going to be the Mega Floette for Teo team.
Nah, we tank it.
Maybe neither Mega choice too surprising here. Both
Perfect.
players opting for Sneasler as the supportive option next to them. Of course, anytime you see two Sneaslers up against each other, the immediate question is which is faster. Both of these showed speed boosting stat alignments, so maybe all the way to max speed. We've also seen some pretty slow speed boosting stat alignment Sneaslers just trying to at least present the threat. We'll probably learn pretty quickly here which is moving. But of course,
Oh, you got the double protect though. But I'm super fast now, so I think it's fine. And I think I should have another Dire Claw.
You probably, have to worry about Poison Jab plus Moonblast being quite a bit of damage back if you just expose Frostlass too much here.
Now I don't.
Immediate switch out of the Sneasler. You don't want to
It was a
play
crit.
into a potential speed tie, knowing that Jolly does exist.
And you don't want to take too much from a Blizzard here, and Incineroar a great switch in if you think the offense is going to come quick from Geo's side.
You still have an option though for the Aurora Veil, something that the Frostlass could do that doesn't necessarily unleash an attack right now.
Yeah, because Manectric doesn't have priority, so I just defeat it here. Mega Floy on the stream.
Ready to go out on the offense. But what does the Sneasler do? Going to be one of the faster Pokemon on the field. Floette, though, with that increased priority on the Protect, will make sure that it protects itself first before it sees the rest of this turn. Sneasler was trying to go for the Fake Out to stop this Floette in his tracks, but Frostlass does unleash that Blizzard. Incineroar going to take that a little bit nicer.
Yeah, if you're not willing to opt into the speed tie, which a fake out speed tie is so risky, if you're going after a fake out into the other fake out, well, they're just going into your partner Pokemon. If you lose it, then you accomplish nothing on the turn. Then switching the Incineroar in and protecting makes a lot of sense. You don't take that much damage from Blizzard. Floette doesn't risk taking a Poison Jab from the other side. But now things are really risky. We talked about the high chance of poison. Like, Floette can take a Poison Jab at -1. No
I'm faster, beautiful.
And you take a Blizzard as well, then all that damage is going to start to add up. It's really difficult to actually play your normal game plan of setting up in front of these two Pokemon. Meanwhile, Incineroar has to be worried too. A close combat will do quite a bit of damage here. Maybe the -1 means that you can take it, but if the Blizzard comes first, then can you actually take a Blizzard and then a close combat afterwards? So Geo continues to have the pressure here. For now, though,
I think we speed tie maybe. Or they have some like HP investment. Yeah, I'm just faster.
You can just get Incineroar back up the field, get Sneasler back
Nice,
in
GG.
instead, and oh man, the
It's
Poison
so
Jab.
risky. The Poison Jab does come out from the Sneasler, super effective into that Floette.
Nice.
But there's actually not going to be a poison that comes through for this Floette. Aurora Veil set up by the Frostlass is going to help out versus these incoming attacks as Floette tries to get a Calm Mind boost to override some of that special defense from Aurora Veil.
Yeah, poison about a coin flip there, whether it's going to be a poison or not. So Floette escapes without that one and escapes without a Blizzard coming in as well. Sneasler and Floette taking a Blizzard there would have been really difficult for TO Team. But now the Floette has the boost, but where do you go from here?
Here we go.
Or threatened by a KO from Poison Jab, even at -1. That kind of funnels the Sneasler fake out into...
Coolberry Basculation, interesting.
Blizzard still, even at...
Okaberry
It's gonna
Cine,
quickly on Floette.
interesting.
You're actually threatening a 1-hit KO back into Frostlass. With Aurora Veil up, certainly not.
I feel like it's an easy Blizzard though, and then whether or not the Fake Out comes out, I think is going to be what ends up throwing the wrench into the plans.
Right, I mean, I think from Geo's side, it's pretty easy. You know a fake out's coming to Sneasler, so you're able to make this pivot. You know that you can get the Blizzard if you want it. It's how do you respond from Geo team's side.
I think the Intimidate makes a lot of sense, though, because that's going to be a nice attack drop onto the Sneasler. But we're seeing the rotation. So, Teo Team's Incineroar comes in, gets the Intimidate onto the opposing
Intimidate into the enemy scene.
A full rotation of Pokemon here. Floet protects itself.
Okay.
Knows it's under threat by
Blizzard do some decent damage into the insane, not something crazy.
Yeah, Teo Team is way more interested in threatening fake out and trying to create a position with a really safe fake out than he is in immediately landing one.
Ooh, freeze on the insane.
Gonna disrupt plans even further. So what I was saying is
But you can go for Flare Blitz to thaw out, guaranteedly. But if you want to go for Fake Out or Parting Shot, you have to go through the chance of being frozen, actually.
Incineroar comes in instead, threatening now fake out on the other side, and then to add more difficulty on top of that, Teo Team gets the freeze on his own. Incineroar can't even guarantee to fake out.
But he can Flare Blitz to thaw out of the freeze, so that is going to be at least a nice attack into the Frost Blast, right?
It's difficult. You spend a turn just flare blitzing with Incineroar. Floet starts to look like it is on an island all by itself, already at such low health. Would of course go down to an attack. Incineroar has to be worried about a couple Blizzards being a KO. You have Aurora Veil on the other side. You have the speed advantage.
Floet goes for the double protect. They can't go for it. Bye bye, Floet. Oh no, they survive actually. That's crazy.
So maybe you're kicking yourself, hoping that you would have been able to get an attack off with his Floet before it goes down. But Incineroar is able to use the Flare Blitz to
Oh,
thaw itself out.
the double protect was a bit weird, because he could do great damage now.
But this Incineroar for Geo still gets a chance to move, and it's going to be a Flare Blitz in return to get the final blow onto that Floet.
Yeah, the protect was a bit weird.
Selfishly for one turn, and one turn of selfishness is all it takes for Floet to go down. Stuck by itself, the Flare Blitz and the Blizzard is more than enough damage, and that is not what you need to accomplish with your Mega with this type of archetype. You're going to put all this investment into supporting around it. You really want a lot more than Floet was able to accomplish there. Ends up getting the Calm Mind, protecting, trying a double protect, not getting it, and just getting KO'd, having no impact on this game. Geo at this point is so far ahead, but doesn't necessarily have it closed out yet. Incineroar and Sneasler can still put out a lot of damage. Sneasler comes in unintimidated, is threatening a close combat into Incineroar on the other side. We just saw the damage from Incineroar into Frost Blast on the other side, would be able to close out a KO now. Geo has to make the right move.
Incineroar switch out for future Intimidate. And it's not White Herb, it's Focus Ash Sneasler, so Sneasler will not be able to ignore the Intimidate. Oh, there clone the fish. Great switching from Giovanni. Ish, so much damage on the Sneasler. Great on the Sneasler, yeah, I thought so. Okay, I thought it was Throat Chop. Oh, it survives! I thought it was Throat Chop into the fish.
Yeah, Teo Team knows his resources left at this point are so minimal that giving up health to Flare Blitz would make it more difficult, and tries to reach, tries to get that KO with Throat Chop instead, but that also covers if Basque Legion had been coming in on that side instead with Snow expiring. Maybe you're
We still have the last Pokemon reveal for Eng-Pt. Well, we already know all the 4 for Giovanni.
the KO on to Frostlass, and probably is going to have to take another Blizzard in the future, but at least on this turn you can expect Frostlass is
Eng-Pt will be looking good here.
with the Snow expiring.
But I think the Insane comes in now to drop the attack of Sneasler and the opposing Insane. And then Eng-Pt losing value because they can't be intimidated to get that boost.
Secondary KO onto that Incineroar. But for now, we're going to see the Incineroar disappear into its Pokeball as Sinistcha comes out.
Oh, some healing, that's good.
Sneasler. Sneasler is actually going to use
Oh,
first.
nice, no Aqua Jet. That's good, that's good.
The knockout.
Geo opts not to try to preserve that Frostlass, just lets it take a hit.
Wave Crash into the Sinistcha. That was a very good turn for Teo Team.
Legion is going to get to swing for free, but not into the Incineroar. So pretty strong turn for Teo Team there to respond and get a little bit back in this game.
That's still only 1 KO that Teo Team has been able to get out of Giovanni. You still have 3 more Pokemon in the back to play around with, and this is a free Intimidate now onto the opposing Sneasler.
Yeah,
Right, Incineroar is able to come back in.
free Intimidate.
Here and get an Intimidate down. I think the Hospitality may have taken...
But same for Teo Team.
KO range.
And the thing is that Giovanni has no access to healing. And Teo Team has the Insane Sinistcha Blunt rotation. So he can intimidate, heal, you know?
Intimidate stick. But if your team can keep up with these three Pokemon,
Yeah, it's the Insane,
going,
of
there's
course.
still a chance, even now, both players down the Mega.
Gio took some time to think about his decision before bringing back in the Incineroar because it is really about how do you close out this game. Felt like the lead that Giovanni had is starting to close a little bit.
Close a little bit, but he's still massively ahead. Think about the situation here. The Basculegion not threatened by the Sneasler at all and can just swing into the Sinistcha on the other side. Sinistcha has opted for Akaberry, not the Ghost Resist that we saw in similar teams to this archetype before. So Last Respect's likely just threatening a KO here now that Frostlass went down on the previous turn. So it may look as simple as fake out the Sneasler and throw Last Respects to Sinistcha. If you're far enough ahead,
Yeah.
you can kind of say...
It is.
There are counters to that. You can
No, because the Insane... Oh, but it's leaving the Cine open for the Last Respects. Or it's not full power Last Respects. But still, fake out, of course.
Fake out first.
Wave
then
crash.
do the last respect.
Yeah, LP.
Already taken some damage, and so
Mhm.
looks like it was an easy knockout to pick up.
Even with the Intimidate, that damage was too much.
Pokemon left. Can Teo team claw his way back into this one with the Sneasler and the Incineroar?
It looks rough. Now you have fake out, but you can't fake out the fish.
And no,
GG.
actually, is gonna be the
Yeah.
answer to that
Yeah,
question.
GG.
Teo team throws in the towel, and Giovanni
Tough match, bro.
won.
Once he was down to two Pokemon, just too much of an uphill battle. Gio did such a great job of withstanding the early threats from Teo team and constantly.
Yeah,
in those
I
first
think
turns was
the
trying to
turn where
find
the
right
Theo
position
team
for his
tried to go for the double protect was a bit unnecessary.
turns in a row, we saw him
Because he survived the blizzard.
slot between the two fake out Pokemon.
Because he survived the blizzard, he could then fire off a Dazzling Gleam and pick up the knockout on the Incineroar and then not get knocked out in return himself, you know.
The Frost. But in the meantime, the float went down and it was such an uphill battle from there. He got a few turns right, but Gio was able to play pretty conservatively and just close out the game.
It's just so hard, right? Because it's like sometimes you wait for the perfect opportunity, but then what if that window was actually a couple of turns ago? Maybe you would have enjoyed throwing out an attack. Maybe that makes the matchup a little bit easier. But it's so hard to make that call when you have all these different facets to think about. What other Pokemon could be in the back? Gio took quite a while to actually reveal that.
Right. If you don't know what you're going to have to deal with at the end, you don't know what resources to preserve. I think the Sneasler on Gio's side makes it really difficult to play this game plan with Follett because
Yeah,
you
the
have to
yeah.
use Intimidate to mitigate the poison jab. You have to be constantly cycling.
But then if Theo team goes Delphox, Giovanni has the King Gambit to kind of control the situation.
Poison is so huge as well when you know that blizzard damage is going to be added on top. If it was only the poison jab you were going to take, well then you can say I'll take that. Even if I get poisoned, I can hospitality, I can recover it. But when blizzard is adding chip on top, it makes it so difficult for Floette. So I wonder if that will force the switch into the Delphox. If you think it's going to be the Frostlass, not the Dragonite on the other side, then Frostlass, or the Delphox makes all the sense in the world.
I think I would like to see Delphox or King Gambit as an adjustment in this game, especially when you see these two Ghost-type Pokemon for Gio with the Frostlass and the Basculegion. But it's going to be the Delphox as the switch up for the Mega.
Delphox, that's not bad.
Gets the Mega matchup.
I mean, it kinda is because you have two ghosts in front of you. Probably there is the King Gambit in the back as well.
Delphox on the other side, so immediately
Shadow Ball, Last Respect, always a problem. Sneasler can't fake out anybody here. Sneasler can't do much. Sneasler is awful versus this lead. Great lead for Giovanni because Dire Claw will not do anything. You can coach if you have it, but then there is Shadow Ball from the Frosty. I don't know, it's really tough lead here for Theo team.
because you love to get Sinistcha in to try to redirect away a wave crash, but are you just going to switch Sinistcha into a blizzard here? You can't afford to do that.
Yeah.
How do you actually recover from this position?
Or a Shadow Ball,
Start with Sneasler
not just
going
Blizzard.
to the back, but where does it go next?
It's the... Okay, that's better. That's better.
Okay, well, that was an adjustment that I
But
would
still,
like to see, and
the
it
Fox
is
can
very
still take a Shadow Ball and the Wave Crash to the face.
and the Basculegion. However, they can still
Right?
a punch into this King Gambit.
Yeah, Mega Frosty comes through. The Fox looking rough here versus two Ghosts and two Dark types in the team of Giovanni.
This King Gambit can't protect itself on this turn, so it could be taking two attacks right here and now.
Let's see.
Delphox is going to
Protect on the Delphi. Okay.
any damage on this turn, but what has Gio decided to do?
Aurora Veil, well played, bro. Well played. Really good.
But this Basculegion can still fire off an attack.
Wave Crash?
Into that Delphox.
Nothing?
So the King Gambit
Okay.
is a way to cover and
positive turn for Giovanni, but also very good switch from Theo team, bringing the King Gambit. It's really good into those two guys. With Crash still does a lot of damage into King Gambit, but then you're losing a lot of HP from your Basculegion in return. The thing is, Cold Berry for Basculegion will take away the 50% of the damage of any dark type attack into it.
As a Blizzard resistance, able to threaten a bunch of damage into these Pokemon. But it does mean that Delphox is now on the field with no redirection support, no fake out support. Gonna have to fight on its own a little bit here. Only the threat of Sucker Punch to try to keep Delphox healthy. I also wonder what players are thinking about the damage trade.
Delphox switch into Schneasler. Okay. Nice. Nice switch. That was still a lot of damage. Wave Crash. Let's see how much. What? That's not Mystic Water. That's insane. Oh, Swords Dance. Okay. Now you bring Cine to heal the King Gambit.
It has taken one big hit like that, it's a little bit easier to get rid of it, but Frostlass isn't going to be able to do that job, and Basculegion, even with the Aurora Veil up now, with a little bit of chip from Wave Crash, likely in KO range from Black Glass's +2 Sucker Punch, and so this, the Cold Berry can help with that, and for now the Sinistcha going to try to keep King Gambit healthy so that if you miss that KO, you don't immediately go down to the Wave Crash.
Yeah, Sucker Punch comes through. Sheesh! Big damage there, bro. Well done. I think it survives, yeah. Yeah, nice, nice, nice. +2 Sucker Punch is crazy. It is super strong turn for Theo team.
KO'd as you get Sinistcha on the field to provide redirection support for this King Gambit. Sinistcha can't provide that redirection support safely when there's Blizzard threat on the other side, but by eliminating Frostlass at the exact same time that you get the Sinistcha on the field, now you have all the redirection time in the world. Of course, the Last Respects will still pick up that KO, but if you opt for Last Respects, you may only get one opportunity further to attack with Basculegion, whether that's taking a Sucker Punch into the Pulverberry or just taking a Kowtow Cleave that might KO.
Because I think Giovanni has Insane in the back, and if he brings Insane, no, it's Sneasler, because you could make the King Gambit +3, which would be crazy.
Right, both Pokemon have Protect, so your team can just kill this fake out pressure on this turn. But of course, in Geoshoes, you know that that's a threat. You know you can also just take advantage of it, and then you know the Teo team knows you could just take advantage of it.
Sneasler? Oh, it's Insane? Oh, it's +3 on the King Gambit. Sucker Punch? If you're watching and play Pokemon, I advise don't open chat. I'm not. But why? What's going on in there?
You spent the entirety of game one trying to accomplish exactly this play, trying to switch fake out on a double protect from the other
Wait,
side.
he didn't Sucker Punch?
One step ahead. On a double protect to accomplish
Going to be a double protect?
No, because of the fake out pressure, yeah. I understand, because of the fake out pressure.
On the other side, you click the double protect, and Geo hits you with exactly the same play. Gets the switch into the fake out pressure, rotates through those fake outs.
You still have Sucker Punch available, but you go down. I know you can
Does have fake out available, and it starts to look
Rage Powder?
to put a bunch of damage down. You can just fake out King Gambit.
It's hella racist. What? People being racist in 2026 is so dumb.
Unintimidated so far.
Who are they being, bro? They both white. One is from the States, another one is from France. Who are they being racist about? You know? About I'm a racist towards Incineroar, yeah. Oh! Racism is not cool. No, it's not. It's just stupid, bro. It's just dumb. Yeah. So he tried to Sucker Punch the... Wait! He tried to Sucker Punch the Insane. Big damage! Wait, hold on. That's why I prefer to watch on YouTube. So we can
onto
Wait.
Sinistcha in this position most likely.
Oh no, went for double protect.
Protect, but it is going to fit the thread up front.
Yeah, it makes sense, it makes sense.
Gambit, if he allows it,
Because the Insane can go for fake out and you take a whatever.
I will say though,
Wave crash, last respect.
I would've liked to
Last match with
actually
Marco.
have
Oh, yeah.
Legion for this Delphox.
It's very stupid because Marco is from Italy as well.
Delphox has very little damage on it.
the problem is the Incineroar has very little damage on it. Your total offensive output from tier 2
And for example,
now is gonna
Marco is a counter-racism example because some people say that black people are dumb, but Pokemon is a very intelligent game, so Marco succeeding in Pokemon counteracts the usual racism, you know?
on the previous turn, maybe there's just enough room for it.
There is throat chop.
Yeah,
so
the world is still healing. You know the world is still healing when racism is still a thing, when people go crazy about politics or about sports, when people are fighting because my party is better than yours and they don't understand that we should all govern together. You know, the world is healing. Those things were worse back in the day. Slowly but surely it's becoming better.
To the Incineroar on that side, but you have to get there first.
double protect. Just
Protect, because fake out, yeah.
get through both
Okay.
Pokemon.
Fake out, plea.
But you still have
Nice.
to worry about
Insane
the
goes
coming
throat chop, plea. Okay. Now you can Rage Powder. But wait, how do you beat the Insane?
Right, it's an easy play.
Unless Delphox has coverage move, they can't touch the Insane.
On this turn to go
Because Insane resists fire and is immune to Psychic. Some Delphox run like
Sizzler on tier team
Moonblast, not Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam or another coverage move, but I don't think...
to try to keep your own Sneasel around and be a threat back to that Sneasler, so you can't afford to take a side shock. It is protecting itself now. Well, Rage Powder,
Rage Powder?
the Incineroar tries to go after the Delphox.
Throat chop or flare blitz though is going to do a lot.
Psy Shock?
Protects itself from
Protect,
the side
well
shock.
done.
Of course, that's going to be
Throat chop?
super effective damage if
I-
you can return. But the throat
That's alright.
might actually miss out
You can
on
survive
it.
another one.
Oh.
Idiots asked for a good black Pokemon player, we said Marco. Idiots asked for a good black Pokemon, I said Zekrom, another guy said Darkrai. Yeah.
The damage roll of whether Throat Chop is
Shiny Greninja.
not, and then of course you'd rather be
Shiny Charizard.
instead, and so going after the Throat Chop
Double
feels
Protect
good.
fails.
Double protect here was a good
Rage Powder
effort.
again.
Going to happen. Sneasler cannot protect it.
Psy Shock.
Second Psy Shock from the Delphox.
Should be a knockout,
The Delphox gets
right?
the runs, bringing the Sneasler down to its focus.
Oh, it's focus. Focus, shy, ay, ay.
Going to redirect away the attack from the Cincinnati as they go for another throat chop, and yeah,
It survives, yeah.
on the knockout.
Just not quite enough
A lot of
damage
defense
for
investment
Throat
there.
Chop, preventing
Or the Insane has low attack.
forcing
How do you touch the Insane?
Sinistcha
I
around.
I was still doing my match on ladder, so I didn't see the team preview.
Through this turn, Delphox
So
Sinistcha
I don't know
itself,
what
you think
moves the
that
Delphox has.
burn it that way. If you can
But,
get through the Sneasler on the other side, and that kind of blocks all the obstacles for your own Sneasler to come in close combat Incineroar and clean up the game.
Oh wait, Team still has Sneasler alive. Never mind, never mind. I thought this was the final two versus the final two, but no.
It's too bad because Giovanni's
Theo Team still has the Sneasler in the back. Chill, chill, chill.
burden, so if the focus sash
Yeah.
had been
So if he knocks out the Sneasler, it's GG. The thing is, Giovanni cannot protect,
Sneasler,
making
but
things
the
much
shield
complicated.
has poison type,
Much more
so
complicated, I
it's
mean.
gonna be able to be faster than this Delphox before it's able to knock you out. So Sneasler goes for
Yeah.
protect on this turn. Does
Theo
not
Team, do you read that? Protect the Cine?
As a Sinistcha can go
No.
for final
Okay.
protect the Delphox with that rage
What is
powder.
Delphox gonna do
Always
here?
in
Okay,
favor, but
okay.
Delphox
I think it's not very risky this play because then you can bring the Sneasler in.
Throat chop from the Incineroar finally finishes off the Sinistcha and brings back out this Sneasler.
He also said Jesus is white, which is, as an atheist, I don't really have much to talk in, but from where he originates, the statement is just idiotic. Yeah, it is. I believe Jesus wasn't a person. I think Jesus is a title that you give to a type of person, or to a person that does certain things, or says certain things. I don't think Jesus was one individual. It's like you can be Jesus, you can be like Jesus, you know what I'm saying? That has way more value for everybody in the world than just saying, oh, that guy did that. No, it's like, you can be like that, you can do that. That's way more powerful than creating a whole religion about one single person, you know what I'm saying? For me, religion is extremely dumb. The only religion that I slightly accept is Buddhism and Shintoism,
We need the fake out to try to
and like
victory here.
religions that don't go to war and shit.
Amazing.
You know?
And I wonder even if the third drop would actually pick off the Delphox.
GG, wait!
See the towel thrown in. No.
Oh, yeah, because you can hear, you just fake out the Sneasler or fake out the Insane, Psyshock over there, close combat next turn. Yeah. Good game, bro. Theo team fighting the current world champion, but in Pokemon, titles only matter that much because the format is always changing. It's not like in football or basketball, you play the same game for 100 of years. Of course, things change and rules change and trends change, but Pokemon, the game literally changes, right? Mechanics, new attacks, nerfs, buffs. So Giovanni won last year with different Pokemon, different formats, different mechanics, different gimmick. So translating that success, translating that ability to this current format is very, very different, right?
There's always that chance of burning the Basculegion as well, so I wonder just how much time that Basculegion would have had left if it even survived through that Matcha Gotcha. And it always does a lot more damage than I think it's going to every time that I feel like I'm on the receiving end of it. But we've got a decisive Game 3 to see which competitor will have an undefeated 2-0 record after this one.
Well, we're reset again. Both players in team preview. Both players looking at 2 mega options once again. So far, Gio has stuck to Frostlass throughout this, but your team made the adjustment in that last game. Went from the Floette to the Delphox, and it paid off in game 2. But from Gio's side, do you think, well, if it's going to be Delphox, I can just go Dragonite. Dragonite looks so clean against the 4 Pokemon that your team brought in that last game. You even have Heat Wave to cover for the King Gambit, even if it has a redirection next to it. I can just Heat Wave and take that KO. There's no Aqua Berry on that King Gambit. So will Gio make the adjustment? Will Tier Team be preemptive for that adjustment and go back to Floette? This is really going to be the crucial thing. It is Dragonite.
Okay, so then is there a Floette on the other side? There is! A Floette and Sneasler to catch that Dragonite adjustment.
Floette Sneasler, Dragonite Sneasler, good switch. Oh, that's really good for Timothy.
On the other side. There's a question of even if you get the Mega Guess right, you see the Dragonite on the other side, is fighting against the Sneasler still such an uphill battle that Floette isn't able to capitalize on that? Before you can ever land a hit into Dragonite, you're going to have to let Sneasler on the other side act in some way, unless you try to disrupt it just with your own Sneasler. It can win a speed tie there, and then one hit into Dragonite's not going to be enough. The multi-scale will at least keep it safe for a turn. This means that Sneasler has its work cut out for it. Are you trying to just fake out and break that multi-scale, or trying to Dire Claw to break that multi-scale so that Floette can get that damage? But for now, Dragonite just running out into the back. Gio trying to catch a double protect once again, get his own fake out on the field.
Incineroar would be able to pressure that on the next turn, but first we're going to see the Mega Evolution from the Floette.
You want Giovanni? Yeah, Giovanni is a very good player. He's a very good player. I just want him to win because I don't know Timothy, but Timothy is playing good as well. Both of them not using Mega Charizard Y, but Theo team is using a more common Mega on Mega Floette. Okay. Yeah, that was a weird play. The close combat on the Sneasler was a weird play. Why would... he thought the Insane would switch on that slot, not on the Dragonite slot. Makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah, in tournaments, it's way more Focus Sash Sneasler than White Herb Sneasler. I don't see the value. I mean, if you consume the Focus Sash, you still get faster. But if, like, right now, the Giovanni Sneasler didn't consume the Focus Sash, so it's not faster. So I think it's like, it has its own value because it still works as a Focus Sash, so you can survive on 1 HP and become faster. But most of the times it's not happening, you know. I wonder how many times it actually gives value, you know. Insane the Great. Protect. Okay. Poison Jab. Poison Jab? Bro, why would you run Poison Jab instead of Dire Claw? To get only the poison? Yeah. Because paralysis and sleep were nerfed. So Poison Jab only gives you the chance to poison the enemy. If that's your plan, that's exactly what you want to do. Poison Jab instead of Dire Claw. Interesting, bro.
Threatens just
Interesting.
KO onto the Incineroar in that slot and would force a reveal. If it's not Sinistcha as that fourth Pokemon, nothing wants to come in and take this Wave Crash. And if it is Sinistcha, I'm not sure it's the right timing where you want to really be bringing in Sinistcha now. And meanwhile, Floette has used the Protect now. It's got to be worried about Poison Jab on the other side. Even if it's not an immediate KO, we've talked about how the near about 50-50 chance of poison means that even just taking a poison jab that you can survive can have really negative long-term effects. Yes, Floette has to get off the field, does not like the position, needs to be preserved to fight Dragonite in the long run. So instead it's going to be Sinistcha coming in on that side.
I mean, the poison jab's still going to hurt quite a bit, though. Even if it is going to be a neutral, no poison activated.
Wave Crash.
Secondary effect as the wave
Oosh.
one-hit knockout.
So much damage.
Gonna be a lot of recoil back into that Basket Legion, but you got rid of a really big threat.
Such a huge threat to be able to get rid of that Incineroar, get rid of the threat of Intimidate. The Sinistcha wanted to be on both sides. It wanted to be able to come in and take that Poison Jab and the Wave Crash, but couldn't Rage Powder before it hit the field. It leaves Incineroar hanging. That does mean you land Floette next to Sinistcha, so you have both the redirection and the Floette on the field at the same time. Geo also hasn't given up a Pokemon yet, so last respects.
Bro, Basket Legion still surprises me, the amount of damage it does. And I use it a lot, but it's like, you're never expecting that amount of damage. It's crazy. Crazy damage. But guys, can we speed up this game? I really have to go to the bathroom, bro. I'm almost blowing up my bladder.
Really hard to establish a similar position without Incineroar to help you with Fake Out and Intimidate in the future. No kind of pressure valve for the damage at this point either. So I think really crucial decisions now. Does Floette try to boost because you think you need the damage? Can you call a Protect or a
Sneasler?
right spot to
Sure.
land a big Moonblast?
Do you have the chat disabled? Like you can't even type in it? Me? On my YouTube channel?
A lot less or something like a Moonblast as a Sinister redirects away the attention.
No,
from the
you're
Floette.
typing, right?
Get some breathing room across the way from this Basket Legion. Floette's first to move next as the Moonblast is going to actually pick off this Basket Legion. So there's no additional damage on this turn.
Big damage there. Good play, good play.
Knockout to take.
Yeah, gets the position and then does capitalize on it. Finds the Basket Legion, not switching, not protecting, staying on the field and trying to swing out, but it fails.
Chat got disabled, yeah.
Damage after that big Wave Crash recoil into Incineroar on the previous turn to just get the KO with Moonblast, get rid of it.
No, it was not disabled. No, the stream. I'm on the official Pokemon channel.
Going to come in the future and be
I'm not on the Play Pokemon.
gone. Makes Sinistcha
Live
look
chat.
much healthier.
Yeah, it's open.
Don't have to worry about Incineroar hitting into it a couple times. Heat Wave from
Bro, this guy is so dumb. Who uses Poison Jab over Third Claw? Bro, the good players. The good players. Because you don't really want paralysis or sleep because it was nerfed.
game, and so should be fairly safe.
Floette is paid to win? Not really. People still think that Floette is paid to win. No, it's not.
Dragonite has multi-scale. Not that threatened. Difficult to break multi-scale with the Pokemon that are left either.
You could also
Let's
for
go, let's go.
Tailwind. That is an option available to this Dragonite that would give you
I love shiny Mega Dragonite. Look at that, so beautiful.
This is the Pokemon on TO Team's side, but how much do you value that versus just going for
Fake
the
out?
now? The fake out from the Incineroar
Big Dam?
is going to land onto its target of the Floette, so that's going to be a turn for this
Tailwind?
Dragonite to get that Tailwind
I asked because
off.
Bay had troubles. Yeah, I've seen on Discord.
Turns. Sinistcha can still go for
But it's
the
Bay, you know,
Tailwind,
so
and it's going to use that Machagotcha to connect to the
Can't
Dragonite
take him
with
seriously.
the multi-scale. Now that Floette for sure can get the knockout.
Yeah, such an important 4 HP of damage there, and gets it pretty easily. The Tailwind is
4 HP of damage. But it breaks the multi-scale though, that's really important.
Does mean that your Sneasler you can confidently say will move before
But
the
what's
Sneasler
Floette
turns
gonna do here?
away.
Focus on the D-Knight or spread damage?
Tailwind will still be active there, and you give up multi-scale in the process for it.
Yeah, but now you can kind of, I feel like that boost was more for the Incineroar than anything, because maybe that's going to actually give you the speed advantage over the Floette and Tailwind.
Right, you can probably get the Sinistcha now in exchange for whatever Floette does on this turn, but if the Sinistcha
Protect on the Cini.
is there enough damage to
Okay.
actually threaten back into the Floette? Heat Wave's not going to do much there.
Heat Wave on the Dragonite? Okay.
The ability to first spread damage, and so
It's
you
not
can
much
connect
damage, it's not
onto the
stab.
Floette. Actually,
Yeah, it's no damage.
but the Flare Blitz would have loved to land its mark.
Timothy is feeling really relaxed here. Moonblast! Knockout? Oosh! Mamma mia! Knockout!
Bringing Geo down to his final 2 Pokemon of the game. That Sneasler
I don't think Geo can pick up the knockout on the Floetchi. It's gonna do some damage. Fake out. Just protect.
That could be a problem, but if you can get out of the tailwind, then the Incineroar will love to be in those trick room environments. But meanwhile, you can see the idea from Geo. If you can get the Heat Wave and the Flare Blitz into the Sinistcha, the Heat Wave will break the Aqua Berry. Flare Blitz will easily pick up the KO afterwards. And if you can get rid of Sinistcha, then Sneasler comes in, just KOs the Floette. It all starts to look really easy from there. But your team is one step ahead, understands that Sinistcha is important in that position and is likely to be the target, gets it protected through the turn, and breaks the Dragonite. And now that same play isn't available anymore. I don't know that Throat Chop plus Poison Jab is actually going to be a KO into Sinistcha. And if Sinistcha can redirect for 2 turns, then that's a disaster for Geo. There's just not enough damage to win if 2
Yeah, Sinistcha is looking really good here. Protect to avoid the fake out. Nice play. Big damage. With the Flare Blitz might be enough for the Poison Touch. Might be a knockout here. Ah, Giovanni spreaded the damage. Trick Room, no way! Do you know what Team Wolfie has? No idea. I have no idea. We have to watch him play. Because we can see the team sheet of these players right now. We should, I think it will be cool. But also then, imagine I'm participating in the tournament. You are at home, you could check my enemy team and send me, and they have extra time to prepare, you know. Bro, I heard that the judges are forcing players to send all their Pokemons back to Pokemon Home and only keep the team so they can cheat. It was so much easier for them to introduce the locked box mechanism, where you put your battle team into a locked box and you can't move them, you can change them until the tournament is over. I don't know why they stopped doing that, it's so silly. Protezione. Rage Powder.
But as you see the protect onto Geo's Sneasler, this Floette is not going to be able to actually get
Nice.
the KO onto that big important Pokemon. So the throw
Big
shot
damage,
with that
but
additional poison chip is gonna
there
be
is Sneasler in the back still.
down to his final
So fake out close combat. Also tomorrow the Spirit Pillar tourney. Yeah, that's gonna be good for you guys. I'll be watching NIC, I'll be watching World Cup as well.
Already taken half of its health down. If that's true, then you're really relying on fake out pressure to create the space for damage. There's still a lot of opportunity here. Sneasler can fake out the Incineroar. That should mean that
Tomorrow there is a game at 8 and a game at 11.
the other side is threatening a Moonblast to KO there, and then you're
And then there is a game at 2 AM and a game at 5 AM. That's crazy.
Sneasler should be healthy enough to take a Flare Blitz, but there's still risk there. If that double protect comes through, it switches everything, but no double protect.
So that's going to be Pika going the Incineroar's way, knowing there's no
Floette will go down here.
means that this Floette is free and clear to unleash
I know the double protect was on the other side. Oh, GG.
Pokemon.
Nice.
Pokemon left here for
Giovanni loses here. No way.
by a double up and Teal Team. One Pokemon
No.
away from defeating the 2025 World Champion.
Yeah, now should have it.
It was really well played. The Sinistcha really helped. The Floette was harsh. Yeah, because Giovanni brought the Dragonite, so Floette is so valuable.
Meanwhile, a close combat in a Moonblast, and not just a close combat by itself, is going to clean this up, especially after all this Flare Blitz recoil.
Yeah, gonna try anyway. It breaks the focus sash on the Sneasler, but this double up should do it. Moonblast.
I have a fun stream idea. You participating in a Spirit Pillar tourney? Yeah, it could be. I already participated in tournaments before on the stream.
Swiss round 2 of NAIC.
Well done, GG, good win. But I have to go to the bathroom ASAP.
A fun set, such difficult positioning. Ultimately, it felt like a lot of the games were decided by those team preview matchups. In game 1, it was a really uphill battle for the Floette to beat the Frostlass on the other side. When Frostlass and Sneasler were led next to each other, Floette was in a world of hurt. When it was Delphox and Stid, well, that was difficult for Sneasler and made it difficult for the Frostlass as well. And then the final step in game 3, your team was able to make the adjustment one step ahead. Half Floette up against Dragonite for the first time. And it took a few turns for it to occur, but then finally this Moonblast into Dragonite picks up the KO, capitalizes on that team preview advantage. The back foot that Geo is on from turn 1 of game 3 is landed, and then it was just cleanup from there. It was still difficult. It was a lot of tricky turns, needed the Trick Room from the Sinistra to close it out in the end, needed a couple of right time protects or a couple of right time targetings, but makes it happen.
And if that Sneasler had actually gotten that double protect at the end, you got one more turn to just get Flare Blitz damage down onto the Floette, actually try to secure that knockout, and then maybe Geo actually does have a chance to win that third game.
Yeah, the double protect, I think, could have shifted it back. It was very close right up to the end.
What an amazing and thrilling three-game set, though. We've got two back-to-back here to start off NAIC. It's such a treat to have when you know that this global tournament is the last one, the last stop for our competitors to get those championship points and earn their ticket to the World Championships.
Both players, all the players in the field, trying to earn those last championship points, trying to keep the records healthy enough to earn them, to move into phase 2 and further on. All of our top players woke up this morning imagining themselves 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, and not every player is it going to work out for. But at 1-1, you're not out of it yet. There's still a lot of Pokemon left to play, and so I'm sure that Geo still envisions great things ahead.
If you finish up phase 1, we have 8 rounds in phase 1 today, and you get a record of at least 6 wins or better, you will be able to play in phase 2 of Swiss. And so you're right, you can take 2 losses today and still win out and be able to make it to phase 2, but it does get a little harder. Your win-loss record carries over from phase 1 into phase 2, and then hopefully into Top Cut if you're able to make it there. That's why every single win is still critical and matters towards that end goal of making it to that Top Cut.
Yeah, exactly. The early losses make it a lot more difficult to qualify for that Top Cut, even if you make it into phase 2. But hope is alive. You can still, take no more losses afterwards, and you'll be all set.
We have seen some incredible things out of trainers that maybe started even at a 0-2 record for phase 1. They win out all of phase 1, all of phase 2, and they're able to make it into the Top Cut and go even further than that. I don't know, there's something to definitely be said, though, when their back is against the wall, maybe where the pressure is mounted its highest, you get to perform your best.
Yeah, then the adrenaline is running every turn. You're just trying to work through the stress and make sure you're making the right play.
Yeah, it is tough, but sometimes I feel like there are some diamonds that are formed under that pressure, or at least that's what they say, but it's definitely better to start out with that undefeated, give yourself that cushion, and then hopefully make it forward past that point. So 2-0 start for TO Team Masal must feel amazing. There are still 6 more Swiss rounds to play, though, as we finish out phase 1. And then at the end of the day, we are going to show you that first Swiss round for phase 2, because Len, we've got over 1,000 competitors here at the Pokemon North America International Championships, which means we got a treat of an extra round of Swiss for phase 2.
Yeah, there are so many people that we've got to play even more matches to figure out who can come out on top, and that means we're going to start that phase 2 work today. So we got to keep moving through these matches and get on to phase 2.
But we've got some great Mega Evolutions so far, seeing Geo bring the Mega Frostlass and the Mega Dragonite. We saw the Mega Delphox make an appearance for TO Team's team, and then even earlier today, we've got so many Floettes running around.
So, well, yeah, certainly plenty of Floettes, almost 40% of the field with that one. But Pokemon isn't often by itself. Usually when it's the Mega of choice, there's a second one there, and there's a little bit of flexibility in what that second one is. And we saw Delphox in that last set.
That's going to do it for us for Swiss round number 2, but don't worry, we've got Scott's thoughts to bring you even more on this match. So Scott, please take it away.
Thank you, Rosemary. I think it's an incredible match. I won't bore you guys with too many thoughts here. I'm flying solo this time, but what an incredible match, right? Really fun back and forth throughout the course of that one. I think any of those games could easily have gone either way. 2 really great trainers and really methodical team preview, right? Where I think it's almost a shame to try to break this down turn by turn, because I think this one really was won in the team previews and the selection of Mega Pokemon in particular. Both sides with 2 different Mega Evolved Pokemon, and it ended up being really critical over the course of this match, which of the 2 of them selected, and I think which of the 2 of them, each of them were anticipating their opponents to select as well. I think a particularly interesting one here, looking at this team. So we've seen this a lot over the course of the last 2 weekends, sort of originating with the Korean tournament 2 weekends ago, and then kind of being iterated on by players all across the world. This option, it's always that the 5th slot there, or 6th slot, I guess, the 4th on this with King Gambit. It was originally Vivian. Has been a number of attackers throughout the course of the adaptations this team, as trainers have tried to figure out different ways to get a little more offense into the team. Basculegion has often been that slot, but I think there's several trainers actually, including a Theo team there, who have gone with King Gambit instead this time. Winds up being very critical throughout the course of this match, so it'll be interesting to see how that adaptation works out. I think, otherwise, without some Pokemon like that one, you're really relying on that Mega Evolved Pokemon and then Sneasler to get a lot of offense. And since Sneasler is such an important job at this team by helping enable the Mega Evolved Pokemon to set up, you kind of can't use it as offensively as you would with another team. So pretty critical here. And then I think also interesting to take a quick look at Gio's team as well. Something a little bit different, right? Where we've seen a lot of different Frostlass teams, but I think unlike the his opponent's team or the Charizard Floette teams that we've seen so much of, this archetype's still being figured out. It's a little different no matter who you're watching play it. Seeing a lot of now this Frostlass with just regaining Aurora Veil. I think it was falling out of favor a little bit. Often the more bulkier Basculegion that can take hits, often that King Gambit, and then kind of a variety of other Pokemon depending on what matchups the trainer wants to focus on here. I think Frostlass in particular is sort of the Pokemon to watch in this matchup, where it's really good conditionally into this opposing matchup, where so much of the strategy with these teams that are built around protecting the Mega Evolved Pokemon is you use the Incineroar, the Sneasler, and the Sinistcha and kind of rotate them to their slot, and Frostlass really shuts that down, right? Immune to Fake Out, Sinistcha can't switch into Blizzard unless it wants to just instantly get obliterated, so really integral Pokemon, and I think that's why Delphox is so interesting on the other side of the field this matchup, right? Where Delphox sort of prevents Frostlass from checking those other Pokemon, so it's a little mind game going on between both trainers throughout this set, right? What Pokemon are they actually going to bring? Jumping in the beginning of this first game, really what matters here is just the Pokemon we see on the board. And yes, it's the Floette on Theo team side of the field, which is exactly what Gio probably wanted to see in this one. He's got a very Frostlass-based strategy in this first game that enables him to get into some key positions. Jumping forward a little bit here into the game, we get to see that first big turn where he starts taking a large advantage, going to catch Sneasler switching in here. Floette trying to boldly go for an attack there despite being unprotected, and while Poison Gem doesn't pick up a poison, which would have probably been game-ending, it does get the Aurora Veil and all that damage into Floette off for free, and from this point in the game forward, Theo team's just such a back foot that he's never really able to do anything, isn't able to attack with this Calm Mind. Eventually, I believe it's the next turn even that things kind of just get locked up here, where Floette being forced to protect, enabling this Frostlass to get a free Blizzard as the Incineroar switches in. It winds up getting frozen, and then even though Incineroar can thaw itself with the Flare Blitz, it really can't afford to, right? It's not really that much better of it not being able to attack because it gets a bunch of irrelevant damage on the Frostlass, can't Fake Out to protect Floette, and it winds up just being game. However, we move into the second game, and things are pretty interesting as we look at this one. There's a pretty quick switch on this one, but the important thing is really just to check the board state, right? We've got Delphox on this side of the field as well, and then the King Gambit, which we didn't see in the previous game, really changes up this matchup. King Gambit winds up being a really critical player. As we see a little bit later on, picked up a Sword Stance on this turn, able to be a really devastating threat. The two Ghost types are such important attackers for this Frostlass team, both Frostlass itself and the Basculegion, winds up just threatening a lot of damage. Of course, the Shadow Ball into the Sneasler slot here looked like it could have been really integral, but having to switch attacks here because Frostlass can't really do anything to King Gambit causes both of these Pokemon to survive this turn and continue to be big threats. And then just a great Sword Stance with the King Gambit here, and then a whole lot of value in attacking instead because you're going to need 2 swings to knock out these Pokemon anyway, so why not get the Sword Stance instead? And then if you were able to get a third attack off, it would have been a huge leap. Doesn't end up happening though, because so we get this decisive turn where King Gambit gets down to 34 HP and has already or it has to protect, I believe. So Incineroar switches in. There's a switch in the other slot as well while both of these Pokemon protect. And even though Defiant is activated onto King Gambit, doesn't really wind up mattering because of the Fake Out pressure into King Gambit on the following turn. Or at least it shouldn't have mattered because as we'll see a second, the King Gambit is going to go down here as it fails this double protect, and the double target in his slot seems so good at the time. I think it's necessary, where it's really better for Gio if he doesn't get this knockout, but we wind up seeing Last Respects pick up the King Gambit, but Sinistcha realizing there's no point in Rage Powdering, perhaps, with the potential threat of getting knocked out here, goes for the attack instead, and gets a huge Matcha Gotcha crit through this Aurora Veil. If you're wondering if this mattered or not, yes, it did. Perhaps even without the Aurora Veil, would have been pretty close on a knockout with the amount of HP that Basculegion's was at, but it's pretty defensively trained, as is normal on these Frostlass teams, so would have survived that pretty comfortably without the critical hit. Burn could still have made a big difference, but instead everything just wonderful for a Theo team after that. Winds up in this nice situation to follow that up with a Delphox so strong, and we wind up in a game 3 after Delphox just sort of dominates this one. The key thing, I think, in this third game is, again, the Mega Pokemon selection. I think perhaps Geo expecting something a little bit different where maybe, oh, you know, I kind of forced Theo team to play Delphox in the second game, so he's going to do it for sure again in the third. But no, not what winds up happening here. Instead, it's the Floette that looked so weak in that first game where it never got a good position. Instead, just such a dominant Pokemon in this matchup, forcing the Dragonite out. And, you know, it takes a while for Theo team to get in a position where he can take advantage of that. But skipping forward a little bit, once again, we start seeing these critical plays in the game where Geo actually looks pretty good in the middle of this game, able to make a nice switch in here and try to get in a position where it seemed like he was going to be able to check this Floette, but it winds up just being a free turn. You know, Floette naturally quicker than this Vasculegion, and despite the defensive training after using a Wave Clash earlier in the game, has weakened itself enough that Moonblast picks it up. You know, these bulky Vasculegions, you kind of just feel like you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. Usually when you're playing a team like this one, pretty rare to get knocked out by a single attack, but it winds up just being too big of an advantage then, where Dragonite then not able to hide anymore, forced out into the battle here. We'll eventually get a Tailwind that's pretty low impact, but the writing was on the wall on this one, and you know, it's always a little bit sketchy when it winds up being another critical attack from Sinistcha once again, where you know, the Dragonite's going to do a mostly ineffectual Heat Wave here off on a critical turn, and the following turn you'll see the Sinistcha with the huge, in air quotes, or in the previous turn rather, to get a huge, in air quotes, break of the multi-scale with Machagacha for like 4 damage, sets up this Moonblast KO, and then it's just too far ahead where you know, we wind up with one more fun turn later in the game where a big double protect could have flipped the result here, but it all kind of just stems back from the Mega Pokemon selection earlier in the game where Geo could just never really get comfortable in this one. I think he was anticipating Delphox, and I think if Theo team had selected Delphox instead, we're probably talking about our world champion winning that match with a brilliant path through team preview, but great adjustment. I think the team may be understanding the power of his opponent there and not falling into Geo's trap, changing up his Mega Evolution back to the Floette we saw in the first game and winning this set because of it. Really fun set there again between two excellent players, and I can only imagine how great we're going to see of a tournament this weekend if these first 2 rounds are anything to use as an example for how good matches are going to be. Great start here, 2 really fantastic players, and we're going to see more soon. I think we might have another game from round 2 coming up soon, so I'll send a quick break, and we'll see you again soon.
I would say I spent about, I'd say like 6 hours on average is a good estimate for how much I spend each week. I think leading up to tournaments, I might spend up to like 12 or 15 even. So, I mean, I'm really committed to the game. I want to make sure I come and give my best showing, you know? My favorite Pokemon is Mimikyu. My first game was X and Y, and then the game I really fell in love with VGC overall was Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. So, you know, Mimikyu, the totem Pokemon in that game, it was really good in that format. It was really good in 2017. So yeah, I mean, it's my favorite Pokemon. I think it will be my favorite Pokemon forever. It's a tough one. I would say in-person play is what I love the most, just because I get to see my friends at every tournament. Online play is a bit different. You know, I'm kind of sitting at home. I don't get the same experience of seeing my friends, being able to chat, check in after every round. So in person. For me, the current meta, Regulation F.
Alright everybody, I'm back.
Not one of my favorites.
Sorry for the delay.
Violet, but I do think it's
Welcome.
the better ones. Personally, I
Up
would
next in
not
5
be a fan
minutes,
of
but it's
Regulation
really
F.
5
I definitely
minutes?
think, now that
Because if it's really 5 minutes, I don't have time to play a match.
You know, like a new meta, I think new teams are very popular, so I'd say the way it's ending, it's a good format. One piece of advice I would give to any trainer watching the stream is you should always be playing to win. Don't play not to
Always
win.
play to win.
Kind of makes sense. I think
I don't play to lose, yeah, bro. I really want to play to lose.
It's kind of like the snowball effect, right? So if you get one turn super right, then your opponent is like, oh, I need to get 2 turns correct now to win the game. So, you know.
Great advice.
I'm a big math guy. I don't know if that counts as like a hobby, but I actually do math competitions. Recently,
Math
we did
competitions,
this, like,
nice.
applied math project where we estimated like the negative effects of gambling in America. So it's kind of cool that I can take something theoretical like math and kind of show, oh well, here's some real world impacts. Here's how we can, you know, help other people. I also play the violin. It's a lot of fun. So if I were to create my own Pokemon, I would say I would want it to be a support Pokemon. I miss support Pokemon so badly. I feel like right now, a lot of the teams are popular. A lot of the current, you know, the past formats, they're very like, the games are very short, you know, you're just kind of trading attacks, and whoever trades attacks better is winning. I really miss like back in the day when we had, again, like when we had Mimikyu, you can use Z-move Destiny Bond, and then, you know, your Snorlax can set up. Like I love strategies like that. So I would say Pokemon,
Okay.
maybe I would give it Intimidate. Maybe it'd be better than Incineroar at being that one support Pokemon. Honestly, if I were to relive a match, it would probably just be like my 2022 NAIC win. That was like the first event I had ever won in my entire life. So, I mean, it was crazy to me. And I was like, wow, I just won an international. My opponent played so well. We're still friends to this day. Like, I saw him recently at the Latin America International Championship. So yeah, I mean, if I were to relive a match, it would definitely be that one. I'm a night owl, unfortunately. I can't wait for college when I don't have to get up at 7 a.m. for school. I feel like I do a lot of my work because, you know, sometimes I think about my Pokemon.
Some people function better at night.
Okay, well, now I'm gonna do some sets. I'm gonna practice with it. I'm gonna put the stuff I was thinking about during the day into action. So, a night person all day.
I am here with Marco Silva, multi-time international champion, regional champion.
Marco Silva, great player.
Special event champion.
Why are they blurring his shirt?
I see it's a big weekend. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be able to compete again, and yeah, hopefully I will be able to get another good results like in Turin or like NEC last year.
Let's talk about Turin because that is a very recent one. That was
Turin was great. Turin was great.
The entire event, and with the team that we kind of weren't expecting, we got to see the Mega Gengar, we got to see the Como-O. Like,
yeah.
Talk to me about that weekend.
True, he didn't bring the same team here. Not gonna lie, I really want to bring Mega Barb to Spirit Pillow Tournament. Bro, I will do a Mega Barb team just for you, Cole, when it comes out. Bro, it all depends on the ability. It all depends on the ability. So let's think about it. It's rock... No, it's gonna be water fighting or rock fighting once it megas. Hopefully water fighting. It's like kind of like pseudo Urshifu. I don't remember. Because then you want something maybe that protects it from crits or something that protects or makes it do more damage. What will be a good ability for Mega Barb actually? Not really not seeing it at the moment.
Really confident in your original team. So how are you feeling kind of just heading into the weekend, especially too you talked about getting
Filter?
last year.
Maybe. Of course, that will be too good, I guess.
Honestly, I don't really expect it too much. Like I would really like to go all the way again to the finals, but I know how the game works, especially like after you get like a big win. Sometimes.
Oh, I forgot my water in the kitchen. I'll pick it up real quick.
Lucky because maybe you hit the right matchups or you get lucky, like some luck in game. So I'm looking forward to play, but I will try to just do my best and see how it goes.
I mean, this is going to be such a big internationals, and of course, the first internationals on Pokémon Champions. So how are you kind of anticipating the weekend going up? Do you have any predictions on who you think is going to be taking down the event? What Pokemon's taking down the event?
I don't have any particular prediction. I feel like the core of Charizard and Floette in general, like any type of Charizard team, is really, really strong going to this event. But it will also kind of have like a target on its back because it's basically what people will prepare for the most. But yeah, I feel like that team most likely will win. I don't have any player in particular because yeah, like I feel like there's so many strong players that could potentially win this tournament. So yeah, I think Charizard will win, but I'm not sure about it.
I'm back. I'm back, everybody. Everybody. Everybody.
Best of luck going into this weekend. For us, time to see how the competition's going to
It's rock fighting. Realistically, that's Tough Claws, optimally Scrappy, or if you're delusional skill link. Scrappy will be cool, I think. Yeah, rock fighting is a bit harsh. Because you're weak to water, you're weak to grass, you're weak to ground, you're weak to fighting itself, you're weak to psychic. So it's so many weaknesses.
It has been such a fantastic competition so far as trainers from all over the world have come out to compete.
Alright, let's go. I think I'll watch one more match. Because then at 7 my time, I need to prepare the World Cup match I'm going to watch. And get some food ready. I don't know what I'll do. I gotta do a thumbnail as well. Oh, nice dress, Serena. I love it. Sierra, Serena. That's from X and Y, bro. Nice shirt, bro. I love it. Nice tie from Lewis, I think.
Amazing matches to kick off the event.
I don't know. I don't think it's Lewis.
Another one here, and,
Oh, here we go.
hopefully
Here we go.
action to go through.
Rock fighting is also an offensive powerhouse. Yeah, super effective into fire, flying, ice, and into steel, dark, normal, and rock itself as well. Damn! Yeah, that's crazy actually. That's crazy.
I think it's kind of another key team to see as well.
Mega Scope. Wait,
The same six Pokemon
we didn't do the team
this
preview.
weekend where,
I don't know the moves, I don't know the items. Lycan Rock, Scovillain. I've seen this on somebody else's channel. I've seen this on Battle Room channel. I think. I think it was on the Battle on Colin's channel. The Mega Flow, the Mega Frosty with the Mega Scully, with the Lycan Rock over there. Scovillain, good tank versus the Floette. And Floette, but Floette doesn't really care about being burned. Of course, it's a cumulative damage, but it's not really important. Yeah.
But it's going to be a mega for a mega as we get to see the Scovillain come out as well.
beautiful little guy, you know.
Mega Scovillain is pretty cool.
Interesting move choice on the Scovillain.
Dire Claw, that's super effective. That's burn. That's a burn.
Susceptible to going down here, but it does
Poison, that's really good.
generally see that on Scovillain.
Burn. Now your Snizzler is burned, so maybe now you just use it for fake out and whoa. Calm Mind. Okay. In front of a King Gambit. Because you were threatening with oh, Floette avoids the Super Fang, that's really important. Yeah, because King Gambit was afraid of the Snizzler, correct? Bro, this was a super risky turn from Witch and Woo. Because he went for a Dire Claw, Calm Mind. Imagine the King Gambit stays in and the Iron Head. Maybe the King Gambit doesn't have Iron Head. I don't know, because he didn't do team review, so I have no idea what's going on.
Scovillain loves these physical, healthy teams, though. Not loving this situation where it's certainly only going to make it one more turn.
Yeah, now with that Floette being able to get that Calm Mind up now, it's in a position to really start, you know, throwing out these dazzling gleams. The Scovillain, it's such a low health at the moment, will be susceptible to getting knocked out. And this basket
Insane?
is bulky, but
Intimidate into the fish, really important.
at this stage.
So yeah, Wichun wants to knock out the Scovillain with his Insane. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. Wave Crash into the Insane, good read though. Boom. Ah, survives, but I mean, Poison plus Fake Out should be a knockout. Ah, nice Citrus Berry healing. Oh no, it's just a knockout with the Poison. Oh damn, no need for Fake. I mean, you can Fake Out now on the next turn. But you can Fake out the fish, and the fish can still knock out the Insane. Oh, there is a Palafin on the team, I love it.
Has quite smartly protected that last turn. Got a nice kind of intimidate support next to it with that active fake out this next turn. Not going to be that valuable into the Basket Legion.
You should probably just keep watching this. I don't want to go back to the cesspool. Yeah, we're just chilling here.
The Floette from moving this turn with that fake out, or even the Incineroar here for a turn.
That's why we build communities, to make it better. And I'm saying, we are in the age of communities. There will be less bigger channels and bigger communities, but there will be more medium-sized communities, more personalized, more detailed to you specifically. Snizzler comes in for more fake out. Fake out into Floette. Aye. That could be good damage. We've crashed into the Snizzler. That's a sacrifice. Oh, yeah, you like, I don't really care. First, it survives, and then it's burned. So it's like, I don't care about losing my burned Snizzler, you know. But it was a bit risky, because we've crashed into Floette. Maybe it's like super defensive Floette. I remember Harley was running a couple weeks ago, max defense bold Floette, or bold, or the nature that boosts defense, right?
So really smart not to switch it out, because you're in a pretty commanding position going into this next turn where you haven't wasted.
I want to see the Lycan Rock,
now you've got the ability to go
but it's not a good matchup for the Lycan Rock. Only Pokemon it's good into, it's the Aerodactyl. Another Intimidate, that's really good. It's Whiter, okay, that's different.
I mean, Sneasler, at least for right now,
So now it's super speedy Sneasler.
stats go back and
King
back
Gambito.
even. I mean, its attack has dropped so much, we will get
Protect,
that switch out.
okay.
I mean, and after the Intimidate, so no.
What do we see here?
Dazzling,
Dazzle Salazzle.
we've already
It's
seen
+1.
Sneasler is just going to be protecting past this turn and into the King Gambit. That is a respectable
Cole on
amount
YouTube
of
saying
damage.
Mega Barb could be a pretty good Mega on Sand. Bro, imagine it gets Sand Force like Steelix. Nah, that's too strong. Because Steelix does not have a lot of attack stat. Mega Barb does, I think. I'm really excited is for Mega Dragalge, because I really like Dragalge. I loved using it as a Mega in ZA, and I want to use it in competitive. Dragon Poison is not bad. You're still weak to Ground though, which is very common. You're weak to Psychic. You can be poisoned though, which is fine. Of course, then you're weak to Fairy as well, and Ice, and Dragon. Basque Legion.
Isn't, but the King Gambit with the amount of
Okay,
damage that it
another
does
Dazzle
once you
Salazzle.
switch in, getting a boost would be nice, but you just gotta be
Sand Force will be
so
worse
careful.
of Claws.
Black Legion switching
Yeah.
in, no fake out happening there. Dazzling Gleam.
You're right.
Into this King Gambit, it's just gonna be the damage into that fish.
Nice.
which is
Black
enough
Legion
to
goes
pick up
down.
the KO.
And now Sneasler comes in for maybe... Oh, I see what... This is really good though. I was criticizing all the different team preview and whatnot, but this is really good. Because of the nature of how you can watch matches in Pokémon Champions, you can actually watch sets in between the other sets, which is pretty good. And maybe somebody was recording the match, so while you wait for the whole round to finish, you watch another set that was from that round. A custom ability, like its own ability, that would be awesome, yeah. That would be really good.
You're still at NAIC round 2, but two very respectable players, and I mean, this one, you don't want to be taking these losses early on. So we
Close
got
call.
ourselves
Ooish.
for a close Gambit.
Bye-bye,
Oh,
Insane.
that Sneasler, of course, super effective
Do you have
in
Iron
the
Head on the King
Incineroar.
Gambit?
We
Or
all
it's
know
just a
that one's
dream?
gonna be a KO. So, and that's another Pokemon, another piece of the puzzle that's just kind of gone.
Dazzle
But
Salazzle?
it's still around and
Big
so
damage.
much damage. No
GG.
Sneasler and King
Bro,
Gambit
Floette
already
did
taking
so much damage, bro.
KO in retaliation. And that is our one feature match. And I hope everyone enjoyed it. So we do have side streams. We do have other feature matches that are going on. But for us, we're getting closer and closer to our round 3, getting ready as our players go to stage. But I love being able to feature other teams and stuff. That's
Round
always a good
3.
time.
Yeah, always really great, and I think being able to kind
Let's
of get
go.
a look at
Show me round 3,
what
brother.
the field is doing outside of the main broadcast is always really great to see what the other players are piloting, see what is going to make its way into those kind of next stages of the tournament, because we don't always get a great view. We have to kind of, or sometimes make the decisions on what we think is going to do well from the usage stats, but that doesn't always give us a clearer picture, so it's always great to be able to feature other players and see them piloting and pushing their way towards that champion title.
And I think what's better than a game 1 of round 2 is I believe that as we're waiting for our players to get ready, we'll have game 2 of a round 2 feature match as well. So be able to see how we can get adjustments here to try and start this off.
Here we go.
And, okay, we saw one Mega. in the
Oh,
first
different
match.
lead now. We have the
It's gonna be
Frostlass, not
Frost, but
Scovillain.
adjustments.
Oh, Palafine comes in. Good
Not
adjustment.
necessarily the most popular.
I would say it would be a bit bad if there was the Scovillain on the field. But you're gonna see the Palafine. Let's go. Let's go. Palafine, Palafine. Palafino, Palafino. Palafino, Palafino. I like it.
Yeah, really great adjustment there. I think, yeah, the Palafin's an interesting one. Not something we see too commonly, but still really important threat as well. You do have to switch it out to get it back onto the field to activate that 0-to-hero ability, but easy enough to do in this situation, especially with the tools that Chen has got on the back, you know, an easy switch here to something like Incineroar. You will proc the White Herb, but you need to get rid of it at some point. You do have active Fake Out, and then something to
Snowboard.
switch
No
in
switch from
on
the
the
Palafine.
class as well that
Fake
you
out into the
are.
Sneasler.
Blizzard here would be useful.
Flip turn.
I mean, Blizzard will be the first thing.
Blizzard.
the
That's
Mega
okay
coming
into the
out
Palafine.
and
Freeze.
damage into the Caesar. Palafin notably not sweeping.
No
like,
freeze?
swapping out on that previous turn. Maybe not wanting to bring anything else in. Instead, just the little baby Palafins going for the damage.
Oh, he went for the damage. Wave crash into
I
Sneasler
mean, it's definitely not
immediately.
what Palafin was capable of in the previous generation, but that's so
Okay, that's interesting.
Emphasis on zero instead of hero there, but that damage could still matter. I mean, kind of depending on how this match plays out, maybe anything from almost any attack in the game the team is available now to pick up a knockout, including maybe a resisted hit from the Sneasler, where it wouldn't without the Palafin swing. So, never a great feeling when you have to attack with the baby Palafin, but it's doing its best to help out the team.
Yeah, it's really useful, I think, in showing where the priorities are here, knowing that the Floette's probably in the back and Sneasler's such a deterrent to that. Once you could remove that threat and freeze a Floette.
Nice switch. Leonard made the read. He knows that Wu has the Floette in the back.
On the previous turn, swapping out, and notably Palafin still sticking around, though it won't be going on the offensive with just
Oosh.
Such a
Good
smart
switch.
from Leonard, though. Basket Legion takes
Does it pick a knockout on the Sneasler?
Sneasler doesn't really get to accomplish anything, and for sticking around is going to get KO'd. This Mega Frostless has put in a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a really nice little situation now for Leonard as well, where Palafin's a little sneaky there. You got the attack, you get most of its HP back, but it still needs to switch out, right? You don't want to have it with the zero form the rest of the game, and now that its partner's been knocked out, it really limits the options on the other side of the field. Like, you kind of have to switch it or sacrifice it. Not really doing a whole lot here. Potentially forcing the reveal of all 4 Pokemon really early. It just makes things a lot simpler for Leonard from here forward. And then also that best
King Gambit, okay. Now maybe we see a switch of the Palafin to Insane. That means, no, I guess they have the Floette in the back. Sneasler actually has pretty good special defense. That's true, that's true. The base special defense of Sneasler is pretty good.
Which is always valuable because it's going to last longer when that weather does go away. So it gives a little bit extra protection to the Basket Legion that is a
Okay,
little bit more threat
wait, he's
to
switching the...
It's all about which Pokemon
Ah, he didn't brought the Floette. I thought it was the Insane.
really costly at this, and now we see no Mega
Sucker
Ball
Punch.
either.
Oh, big damage, but not enough for the knockout. Good survival. Oh, he also runs Citrus Basque. I love Citrus Basque. Nice, nice double resist on the freeze, on the lizard, I mean. It's really good. And now wave... Ooh! I know. I thought it was into the Insane. It's okay, it's okay. Okay. Now Sucker Punch Flare Blitz? No, because the... That could be a protect from the Frosty, you know, and then Basque picks a free knockout.
Basket Legion would have knocked itself out there too, so some interesting targeting on that turn.
Yeah, and this is real important. I think the Basket Legion drawing in all that attention because the Incineroar can't afford to take the Wave Crash, so you have to kind of target it there, but then that might open a window up for Leonard to say, okay, well, the Kingambit is going to be tied up here going for the Sucker Punch. This opens up a few options for me. Maybe switch something in, like the Sneasler here would be perfectly placed in front of this Incineroar, this Kingambit right in this scenario.
Stream?
Well, as for us to break the third wall, we are coming back over to us as we're going to leave you with a little bit of a cliffhanger for that game.
Yeah.
So
anything could have happened.
Anything could have happened. I wonder who took it. I wonder where the Kingambit target down hidden.
I think we got to game 3 in that one. I felt like it anyway. I don't know. I don't know the outcome.
No spoilers, Lee.
Sorry.
That was an ongoing. It was a pre-recorded feature match, but sometimes it'd be like that. But I think that just means we're getting closer and closer into our next round of NAIC, which is so exciting because that was a lot of fun. I love the adjustments we got to see. I feel like that really just kind of encapsulates what we've gotten to see within this format, within like the leads. Oh, it's obviously so important, the adjustments, but like that one summed it up so well to be really starting off our day.
Yeah, really good. And I think really interesting not to see the Mega Floette there as well. I think because we saw the 4 Pokemon and the Palafin kind of the centerpiece rather than that Floette in that game. It had taken quite a bit of damage as well to that point. So whether they've been able to pull that back in that scenario, because the Floette felt like it would be pretty strong once that Sneasler was kind of taken care of. But yeah, really interesting. But great game to kind of have a little look at.
The cliffhanger, the reminder to go watch out the other broadcast too. But for us, thank you, Scott, for joining us for that one. As we go to our notables to start talking about the next round, we are going to kick Scott out over back to his analyst lounge. He has
so we didn't see the end of that match. Okay.
Round 2 was awesome, guys. I loved round 2. But let's get into round 3 with a very recent regional champion. Up next, it's going to be Arsal Free going up against Christopher Hahn. This will be so exciting. Chris also had a
good match
over the Indianapolis Regional Championships within Pokemon Champions. But of course, Arsal won it all. So to be able to start off NAIC right coming in with a regional title is so exciting.
Yeah, both these players are incredible. You know, really great representation for NA in particular. I think also on the performance at Indianapolis was just incredible. That finals match, they just played out of their mind in that game and just really give.
Eu sei que é muito desafiante, eu sei que são muitas viagens, uma logística tremenda, mas estou a viver aquele sonho.
At an event, right? To then completely switch it up. The version of Charizard that Arsal ran at Indy was the one with Venusaur, right? It was unlike the other Charizards we saw out in the field, but now completely switching up for a team that looks relatively good into Charizard, which I think was kind of one of the meta.
Arsal wins this, please. Nah. He won against Wolfie, right? Nice. Frostlass, Scoville, and oh, he's using that team with the wait, where are the natures? Weren't they showing the natures earlier?
It's got that extra protection as well.
Schneasler, King-Gambito, Basculegion, Frostlassie, Scovillain, Lycanroc.
Even more difficult to deal with, especially because it's very fast in general compared to the majority of the rest of the format. But you've got the nice flexibility there with the Frostlass if conditions suit bringing that, or if you need to just go a little bit support oriented, you've got the Scovillain. There's some really nice interactions in this team as well, with a very slow, bulky Citrus Berry Basculegion, very difficult to take off the field, and will surprise opponents if they're not prepared for this team, because the interactions there where you've got the Scovillain just outspeeding the Basculegion can throw off a lot of game plans here. We saw in Turin time and time again. And then you've got that King Gambit, kind of centerpiece of the team, I would say, outside of the Megas, where it's got that sword stance. If you allow this to get set up, it is going to be hitting so hard, turning like close knockouts into guaranteed knockouts with that sucker punch that just gets supersedes in front of everything else. Other interesting option there on the Sneasler is that gunk shot. We don't normally see that, you know, Dire Claw is an option, poison jab sometimes, but that gunk shot will throw off those damage calcs for opponents time and time again.
Mega Charizard Y with Floette. Super basical.
We saw him pilot to the top cut of the Indianapolis Regional Championships and looking to run it back. There is a reason that Mega Charizard Y and Floette is kind of one of the teams to fear, looking at the amount of damage potential coming out. And it's also damage potential with a lot of speed on its side when you look at a Whimsicott with Tailwind to help boost up your Pokemon, make sure they're outspeeding anything they can.
Yeah, this team is just all about the damage. Get the damage onto the opposite side of the field. Can your opponent keep pace? In this matchup, it might be a scenario where they can, and they might have the tools to be able to do it. But what better player to pilot these 6 Pokemon than Christopher, who's so well versed with these 6 Pokemon in particular. And you've got some big threats here, like you've already said. You have to be careful in front of that Whimsicott in particular because of the on-court threat, so you can't be too passive against it, and that's something that Christopher can leverage to give room to things like the Floette that are going to be so fast and so offensive, especially with that Light of Ruin that can pick up one-hit KOs against opposing threats. And then that Charizard as well that can come in and cause both Megas on Arsenal's side a lot of issues. If that Sun is active, the Heat Wave's going to pressure both of them, and Charizard, one of those Pokemon that just doesn't care about the ability on Scovillain that so many other Pokemon do.
I'm so excited to
I honestly love Taunt Whimsicott. Bro, it catches so many people off surprise. It's very hard to plan against it as well.
Arsal going up against Chris. Charizard and Whimsicott right away coming out for Christopher. A very, very aggressive lead. But as well on the other side.
Char Whimsy, that's aggressive, yes, sir.
So really take lightly paired up with that Frostlass.
It's a nice lead from Arsal here. Got that fake out. Going to be able to go into either target the Charizard or the Whimsicott to either stop the Tailwind or prevent the Charizard from attacking. The mind games here though, which Pokemon either side is going to Omega Evolve first and which one is going to get their weather. You would say that the Frostlass naturally would outspeed that Charizard, so if both Mega Evolve this turn, it will be the Charizard that will get its Sun up, not that Frostlass. But because of that, Arsal not wanting to enter that mind game, bringing in something that counteracts that Charizard perfectly.
Yeah, why fight into the weather war? If you can preserve that, make your opponent go for the weather and bring in something that can check it so Lycanroc hits the field.
Oh, Lycanroc will be very good here. Unless Solar Beam read? No. Fake out over there. Tailwind? No. Moonblast? Into the Sneasler, that's fine.
It's a really nice play here. I think you kind of cover the potential encore threat that you've got this turn, and you stop the Charizard from getting any damage or breaking the sash onto the Lycanroc, and now it's in a position where it is going to threaten a knockout onto the Charizard, and it doesn't care about the Tailwind going up either on that Whimsicott. I think you have to be careful with your Sneasler if you are so. You don't
Accelerock, I think it's too obvious right now, so I think Charizard protects here.
Makes a lot of sense, but you can almost check whatever's coming in with the Lycanroc on that Charizard that is such a threat in the sun.
Or, okay. Basque Legion, sure. Great switch for Marcel, good read. Good damage as well. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, and that's the problem now. You've got to be careful with this Pokemon, because if that is the one check that you've got to the Charizard, you need to keep it safe. You need to protect it at all costs. So it probably looks like it will switch out this next turn. It does have close combat.
You need to keep it safe, totally.
Into the Charizard later in this game. We're going to see the Frozlass just come back onto the field now. He's going to take a Moonblast.
No Sucker Punch. Drop? No. Nice. Kowtow into the fish. Swords Dance. Encore doesn't work on King Gambit because he's a dark type, and Encore is coming from a prankster Pokemon, so it doesn't work on him.
Really useful now. Not that the +2 Sucker Punch is going to need any extra help, but it does threaten a knockout onto that Basque Legion here. Also, you've got the ability now to Mega Evolve the Frozlass, get rid of the Sun, and then you can play that Weather Wall if you do switch it off the field. You've not really got the immediate threat onto the Whimsicott unless you go for an attack with Frozlass, but it's an option here where you could go for the Blizzard. The switch in isn't really a thing that you can do with the Charizard just yet, but the opportunity to get that Aurora Veil up is presented right now, and it might be a good time.
Bro, yeah, he does. Bro is courageous.
Yeah, before all of a sudden you lose the snow and lose your opportunity to protect your side of the field. So yeah, it starts to snow. Whimsicott
Protezione.
so maybe
Sucker Punch.
If we're going to see a little bit more of a passive turn coming out from
Oh, wait. Aurora Veil Swords Dance again.
Is this the Aurora Veil? Protection all around, which kind of to me says we're going to see the screens set up. But no, actually, instead, no screens. That could have been the perfect opportunity.
Well, I think it's gonna happen. It's a switch back to Zard. Yeah, true. Zardwai comes in, I mean, brings the Sun. So now Aurora Veil, no possible.
Means that one of these targets that can threaten knockouts the next turn won't be attacking. So the Charizard coming in, will get rid of that Aurora Veil potential, get rid of the snow, and this King Gambit isn't in the safest spots. A Moonblast from that Whimsicott is going to be very close to picking up a knockout here, so you don't really want to leave it too vulnerable. It's just protected as well. It's in that really awkward spot where what do you do in this scenario, knowing that the Charizard could potentially come in? Well, we're going to see an
okay, Sucker Punch.
Into it.
No. Oh.
Not just the Aqua Jet, but it's going to be the double up with the Moonblast as well. So
good coverage play. Good coverage play. No switch into Charizard. Well done.
But of course, not bringing in Charizard means the snow is up, blizzards are accurate, and that's going to bring Whimsicott all the way down to its focus sash.
Yeah, it's useful getting the Whimsicott down to that sash because you know you've got options
well played.
To bring in.
Well played.
Sneasler now, you've got that fake out, so you can get rid
Aqua Jet to cover for Sucker Punch, and Moonblast to cover for Kowtow or Iron Head.
With a Shadow Ball, which is going to be super effective, but you still haven't got that Aurora Veil. I think the turn earlier would have been the perfect time to set it up. Of course, you don't want to get yourself into a scenario where you are susceptible to an encore and you have to switch it out, and it just slows down your momentum. So you can see what Arsenal did stay on the field, go for that blitz.
True, Aurora Veil is not great because of Encore. Yeah, I forgot about that.
And at this point too, I mean, you have the snow, not wanting to be Encore locked. We're kind of at the point where you can just out damage at this point. It could just be enough, whether it is with the Blizzards, if you're not anticipating that Charizard coming in, or if it is that Shadow Ball.
Also, seeming Fairy Feather Whimsy was a fad. Ah, phase. Yeah. It's not common now.
But I'm curious with what we're going to see. And from the Frozlass, it does go for the Shadow Ball. And
I guess it depends on the team, really. if you have another Pokemon that also needs the Focus Sash, you just give the Fairy Feather to Whimsy.
With the Basculin going down, it gives you a free switch into the
Charizard, yeah.
Perfect, right? You're coming in, you're not taking any damage, and you're also getting the Sunset out on the field in front of this Mega
But
Pro.
Frostlass can still Shadow Ball.
Knockout onto essentially both of these Pokemon here. With the Whimsicott still in a play, it is going to be able to get that Tailwind up this turn, and then the Charizard's got a pretty free Heat Wave. The Sneasel's taken a lot of damage so far, whereas normally you'd say it would be very close with the Heat Wave. It's definitely in range to go down from it. So all Christopher needs to do here, hit the Tailwind, hit the Heat Wave, and if Oswald doesn't switch out or have any real great switches in the back, we know the Lycanroc's there, but it's already taken damage, so not a good switch in at all. Pinned almost in this situation.
You said it out, we needed the Tailwind, we needed an attack, but instead of the Heat Wave that can miss, we're gonna go for the accurate Weather Ball. Frostlass is completely cooked, and all of a sudden Arco finds himself down to only 2 Pokemon, and Sneasler to try and equalize.
Oh!
The gunshot!
Really unfortunate.
Sneasler missed. Bad turn there.
Gone for the more consistent move in the Weather Ball, probably the safer of the two. Lycanroc now coming back onto the field. Now this is going to pressure that Charizard. It's all about how can Christopher adjust now. You let that Pokemon go down, of course, for free, but the Lycanroc...
Good turn for Christopher.
Charizard in that awkward spot where the Sneasler is going to be able to
But
pressure the
Char can just switch or protect. Yeah, I don't think it's a tough turn for Christopher here. Sneasler missing the gunk shot was bad, but... Encore to gunk shot, that's rough. Oh, nice! Well played, Arsal. Well played, the protect was super obvious, he read it. Well done, bro, well done. Gunk shot too.
Might be very telling what's in the back for Christopher. It might be that King Gambit locking the Sneasler into the gunk shot.
Chompy.
Coming in. Perfect answer to both of these. You don't need to contend with that close combat from the Sneasler anymore. The gun shot's not super effective. And one Earthquake here will be enough.
Yeah, because now you can knock out the Charizard with the Accelerock, but Earthquake picks a double.
Charizard right now.
And yeah, there is no more Pokemon available for Harsal. So good play from Christopher there.
Got a hit on the Lycanroc, you got a hit on Sneasler, to now find yourself in a spot where you get to the end game, you got some speed, and a Garchomp that can just...
Yes, Charizard Whimsy plushies. Christopher, that's really fun.
To make sure there's not going to be any shenanigans going on, but no double protect means Charizard does go down. It's up to Garchomp.
But now Earthquake.
Finish the job here.
Yeah, GG.
Earthquake to try and wreak havoc on the field.
Nice.
Coming on out. Who takes the first match?
Yeah, really great play here from Christopher right the way through from start to finish. Cool, calm, and collected to claim that first victory. And exactly what you would expect from Christopher. Just
Good game there, good game.
Good instinct with this team, knows their line.
It was swinging for both sides at the moment, but Christopher was able to lock it in the turn when he knocked out the Frosty.
And not being scared to let some of those big hitters on his side go down when you think, oh, you don't want to lose this right now, but actually it opens the door for something else to come in and disrupt even further.
I also love throughout that match, when you see like the conflicting weather, you get the snow and you get the sun, sometimes you just get that weather war and there's that fight for the weather, right? Chris from the get-go sets the sun, Charizard leaves because it doesn't want to be around with Lycanroc there, but then was kind of allowed Arsal to have the snow for so long, but kind of had it so well checked, right? The blizzards, they kind of stacked up, and then all of a sudden Pokemon came out, it didn't really do much up against. There was no safe Auroraville because, I mean, you'd have to remote after because of an Encore threat, right? And he was just so comfortable to be able to play his own game, divvy up the damage on the board to really set him up for that end game where, yeah, you have the Tailwind, you have the Garchomp, and that's checkmate.
Yeah, that is checkmate, and I think it was really difficult to go for the Auroraville after the turn where you do Mega Evolve. Of course, that turn, if you go for the Auroraville, any switches will happen before the Mega Evolution, so you can guarantee almost getting that up, even if the Charizard decides to come back onto the field. But subsequent turns after that, Christopher, because of that early Mega Evolution on the Charizard, had the ability just to disrupt that snow at any point they wanted. And also, to a certain extent, kind of checked the Charizard coming in a lot with the Lycanroc because of that really pivotal damage that was done with the Moonblast onto it earlier in the game. I think that made it difficult to switch it in as freely as you wanted any sooner to try and check that Charizard. And when it did come in, it was just maybe a turn or two too late. The Charizard was already done the damage, and the Garchomp was set up safely to go for that all-important Earthquake and just clear the field.
Yeah, throughout the entire match, it was just like the slow journey to end up with a speedy Garchomp with an Earthquake that can devastate the field, and that's kind of it. So, I mean, we saw the Charizard try and double protect, but you just didn't need it at that point, right? Everything had kind of built up to that moment. So now knowing how that first game went, heading into game number 2, it's time to see if Arsenal can equalize and try and take this into a game number 3.
Here we go.
Getting into the leads though, Whimsicott next to Basket Legion this time.
Nice, I like that lead. Whimsy Bask.
Sneasler and King Gambit.
Sneasler Gambit.
It's a nice lead here from Arsenal with the King Gambit out in front of this Basket Legion. You're putting a lot of pressure on it instantly to either make a decision.
Let's go, Arsenal. You can do this, bro.
Knocked out, or will you switch out and allow this King Gambit to start setting up? You've got to be very careful here. Of course, as well, it's got that fake out that can stop that Whimsicott in its tracks for at least one turn. And Christopher likely are going to protect the Whimsicott anyway, so it does open the door and a little bit of room for that King Gambit to get that Sword Stance off. But is Christopher going to allow it to do it and maybe try and catch the Sword Stance setup and get some value back with a Wave Crash into either of these two targets? Probably more valuable into that Sneasler for now.
Yeah, protect from the fake out.
I mean, it was definitely well checked with
Yeah.
first game to make sure even with the boost that King Gambit couldn't do.
Sucker?
much. Whimsicott, of course,
No.
forced
We've crashed into the Sneasler. That's big damage, bro. Eee, it's a knockout immediately. Damn. Kowtow. Swords Dance. Okay. It's really good though. But you lose Sneasler for that. Is that worth it? Is that a fair trade? Frosty.
Going to enter the field. Now it's going to have the ability to Mega Evolve, get that Auroraville, which is going to be even more important to prolonging the life of this King Gambit to allow it to take advantage of these Sword Stance boosters. It's got the Basket Legion, of course, has taken that residual damage from the Wave Crash. It will be susceptible to a Sucker Punch, but has Christopher got...
Christopher seems to have this very under control.
Want to preserve the Basket Legion to be able to take a +2 Kowtow Cleave, because that's an easy option for Arsenal here to just Mega Evolve, get the Auroraville up, Kowtow into that slot. I just don't think you need to worry too much about the Whimsicott. Subsequent turns you can go for the Blizzard with your Frostlass here, and you can even pressure a Blizzard here.
Mega, okay. Yeah, this is pretty chill because you can Sucker Punch Blizzard to make sure the Basket Legion never attacks your Frosty.
Full health and you have the boost, any sort of longevity it has to try and run through the team can be oh so useful. But Mega Evolution
Tailwind?
come out, Tailwind coming out from Chris, but be interesting to see where this Basket Legion wants to target.
Aquajet too.
Aquajet, do what it can into the King Gambit, get around any
Sucker Punch doesn't work, that's fine, I think.
Nothing from the King Gambit.
Blizzard, yeah.
Again, no Auroraville is just gonna go for the damage. Whimsicott again brought down to its focus edge, and Basket Legion down less than half.
Yeah, it's a really nice play here from Christopher to say, okay, well, Sucker Punch is probably what's going to come out to punish my Basket Legion if it stays in. We can supersede that with the Aquajet that just gets ahead of it. Now it sticks around.
This is a very good turn for Arsenal, I guess. He didn't took much damage, he did a lot of damage, you know.
It's almost cutting off this King Gambit from kicking the Sucker Punch and waste it into that slot, because another Blizzard isn't going to be enough damage into the Basket Legion. Yes, you get the Whimsicott, which is great, but then it opens the door for that Charizard to come out onto the field, and in front of the King Gambit, Frostlass is probably not what they want to force out at this particular part in the game.
At least with the Whimsicott just being on that one, you just get one hit, 1 HP of damage into it. You won't have to worry about conquers, any other shenanigans further down the line.
Aquajet,
again, though,
nice.
is getting you respectable damage into the King Gambit that yet again did
Sucker Punch again fails because Aquajet, of course.
not able to utilize that attack boost at all.
Almond Blast into the Frosty. Okay.
Deal some damage, but we will
Nice Shadow Ball. Well done.
in retaliation. No
Well done.
Shadow
Good
Ball
coverage.
instead to take care of the bench.
Yeah, it's a nice way to just...
Good play from Arsenal.
If it stays on the field, you go
Look,
for
he
the
owns game 3. I'm enjoying this guy's going going at it. I mean, god damn it.
Not the Charizard.
Oh, Floetchy, flowy.
Coming onto the field in front of two Pokemon that are susceptible to fighting. We'd say the Charizard would be better here, but you can't underestimate this Flo. It has got the Tailwind, and it isn't really worried too much about that Sucker Punch that is the biggest damage-dealing move right now. And with Light of Ruin, even a Moonblast will probably be enough to get this King Gambit. So you've got to be very careful how you approach this next turn if you're Arsenal. You want to protect this King Gambit at all costs, but has the Frostlass got enough in the tank to be able to take an attack maybe from the Floette and this Whimsicott this next turn?
I mean, the Floette isn't one of the ones with calm mindset of anything else. This one is built for damage, and with the Mega Evolution, I feel we can anticipate what Chris is thinking of trying to accomplish on this turn. Of course, a little boost, very tight move.
Okay.
With the Protect on 1 HP.
I think that's fine, no?
Around one more. Actually, will be just
Double up.
Protect, though, so we'll kind of wait this one out for one, kind of see what Arsenal's still trying to do, which is still
Yeah, and you remember that the Sucker Punch has only got so much PP, so it will run out eventually if they just keep getting burned by these protects or other moves that are gonna not activate that move. So you've got to be very
Still 2 turns of snow, no tailwind. Whimsicott can click tailwind, and Floette will be faster than the Frosty, and will do a lot of damage. There is no other avail, remember that. You can't really click it, because then you can get anchored.
And if you don't check the Whimsicott here, then a Moonblast is still going to be hitting even harder now with that Fairy Aura boost that's now supported by that Floette since it's Mega Evolved. So yeah, both Fairies here grinding
Nice.
damage and a Sucker Punch going to be enough
Good.
to remove the Whimsicott once and for all.
It wasn't big damage, but it was enough damage. Only 1 HP. Whimsicott finally meets
No
its
tailwind.
end,
Ooh!
but Floette with
Floette is
it.
faster!
We're looking to try and get some big damage out on the board and into the Frostlass. Frostlass goes
Floette is faster than the Frostlass, that's weird.
Pokemon left to try and take this into a game number 3. Of course, that is a lot of recoil.
Oh, there was still one, it's just not showing up, okay. Sorry.
Like, could be enough.
Yeah, and if it is that Lycanroc, I'm not going to enjoy sitting in front of a Garchomp that's coming onto the field now and is
Ah, I thought about this. I thought about that Christopher can just bring the Floette and basically take Lycanroc out of any planes.
Well, I protect my Floettes here in Earthquake, and you'll be able to take probably. The Kingambit's going to be very close to going down to an Earthquake. The Lycanroc would definitely be down to a Sash. But yeah, what do we select to see? The priority Accelerock into the Garchomp.
Okay, Accelerock.
Getting rid of that
Sucker
that
Punch.
focus Sash.
Oh!
Coming out the Accelerock for the Sucker Punch, and it's going to
But they both go down to Dazzling Gleam.
down, which looked like damage-wise could be enough to try and take through the field, but if you don't survive, you can't do much. Now it's going to be Floette to try and deal the damage, but will
Nice.
be able to equalize, so it's only going to be the Lycanroc remaining, and it's such a great
Lycanroc versus Floette?
for this team, but
No. Can't do enough damage. Flinch?
Single target. Gonna be very close depending on how it's flied, but it is gonna
Lot of Ruin missed!
the best, so Lycanroc gets the opportunity to
Oh!
target rock slide damage, the critical hit.
Bro, so lucky Arsal.
Enough to take this
Crit, dodge, crit. That's crazy.
one more game.
Wow.
That means he's in a good spiritual state, bro.
To take us through a game 3, that was wild, because you think the double up there really smart from Arsenal, like you mentioned there. I think you are getting rid of your focus sash by Accelerocking into the Garchomp because of that rough skin damage, right? You kind of want to avoid that. You want to preserve that sash at all costs, but if it means at the same time that you can get rid of the biggest threat to what's on the field, right, then it's worth doing now. The Sucker Punch did land a critical hit. I don't know if that really made too much difference. You've got to remember this. Kingambit has got the Black Glasses. It is a +2, so that Sucker Punch would have been doing a huge amount of damage. So maybe that little bit of chip with the Accelerock probably put it in range, depending on how the Garchomp has been trained. But that Light of Ruin miss there, really unfortunate for Christopher, because got them themselves into a position where they could have closed this matchup. But that move has not got the best accuracy at times, and it really came back to bite Chris in that game.
So now we've gotten to see
Game 3, game 3.
from our trainers, specifically too with Chris, going for that Mega Charizard in game number 1. Game number 2 relying on that Mega Floette that did so much work, even if it did kind of let him down at the very end there. So for our trainers, what do you kind of anticipate for a game number 3?
I think also needs to did all the right adjustments in that game too there, leveraging the Frostlass to kind of get rid of the Basculegion, get the damage onto the Whimsicott. It probably stuck around a little bit longer than maybe would have liked, so dealing with that and getting rid of that
Here you go.
threat, that disruption earlier on, I think will help Arcel kind of get a bit of a better handle on this game.
One more game between the two trainers to see who's going to remain undefeated here at NAIC. Getting into it, yet again, it will be Mega Floette, soon to be Mega Floette to make an appearance with Whimsicott versus Frostlass.
Whimsicott can tailwind.
Yeah, the Sneeze are in a great position.
Still, they're not really comfortable to fake out because it can get anchored, and then that's GG.
Put that Floette into a position where it is fire off that Light of Ruin.
I mean, I think Frostlass and Sneasler are a good lead here. It's gonna be double Mega, I think. Mega on this side, Mega on the other. So I think Arcel got really lucky last game, but I don't think he brought the Lycanroc again. I think he brings the Basculegion this match. Yeah, Mega Mega.
I mean, so far within this series, we've only seen blizzards and the shadow balls. This Frostlass has only wanted to do damage. It'll be a Mega for a Mega though, Frostlass and Floette.
But nice. I think no fake out is coming out from Arsal. Okay. 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 There was fake out though, so well played from Christopher. Arsal is always nice Aurora Veil. That's really good. And Arsal is always clicking fake out, so it's becoming a bit predictable for Christopher. But nice Aurora Veil there.
Because now you're susceptible to an encore from the opposing Whimsicott on your Sneasler. You need to switch that out. So if you're switching around, you need to be able to make sure that whatever's coming in that slot can take damage here. Because Arsenal doesn't want to leave it on the field and just have it rendered useless. Now you've got the ability though, if the Whimsicott is tied up going for that encore, then you haven't got the tailwind in effect. It does open the door for the Frostlass.
No, Arsal will take much less damage. Encore!
Yeah, so Encore going
Into the fake out, yeah.
So Sneasler, not really accomplishing much on this turn. You're sticking around, you're looking pretty, and you're going to fail your fake out. But it's going to be the Frost
Blizzard?
that has this opportunity to attack, and it's a Blizzard.
Whimsicott is eating those really, really well. No problem. Freeze?
Only 1 HP for that little guy going on forward in the match. Floette, though, does have a
Nope.
chance to respond.
Moonblast?
Again. This is
Let's see the damage behind the Aurora Veil. Oh wow.
into the Frostlass.
Critical hit.
The Hurl
Oh wow.
doesn't matter. One hit KO and Frostlass is gone.
Yeah, that looks
Fair.
like it would have been
And now Sneasler is encored. So weird this matchup now for Arsal. King Gambito?
Because now forces you into a position where the Sneasler has to switch out, and this King Gambit is a bit of a sitting target here from the Floette and this Whimsicott that has got access to that Fairy Aura, so that Moonblast and a Light of Rune probably be enough. Moonblast double into the King Gambit slot will probably be enough to pick up the knockout here.
Oh, that's true. The Whimsicott is also being boosted by the Floette.
And then that could open the door to shut down another option that also has to be able to use their disposal.
He brought the Lycanroc. It's very predictable. Double up on the Lycanroc. I call it right now. Oh no! Actually no. Ooh, nice.
King Gambit is the threat that Chris is trying to hunt down.
Yeah, and now the Lycanroc onto the field.
Nice
Coming
defensive
into
play
play
from
like that
Arsal.
Lycanroc that can go into
I would, in that play, I will double up
and
the
then
Sneasler slot.
You've got the ability to at least, you're going to be able to take a Light of Rune. That's the question from full health in King Gambit. Likely not, but do you want to switch in Sneasler into that slot as well? You want to try and remove this Whimsicott, but also you can't ignore this Floette either at the same time. You do have one turn where you could potentially go Sucker Punch into the Whimsicott if you expect it to attack here, kind of keeps that in check, and then use the Lycanroc to get maybe a Rock Slide onto the opposite side of the field. The Floette's taking quite a bit of damage, but Rock Slide plus an Accelerock the next turn could be enough to take that.
They'll win.
I mean, we're looking to get speed for Chris's end, especially knowing that there is...
Accelerock doesn't care about Tailwind. Good damage! It's a tough plus boosted, yeah. Ooh, no Sucker Punch. That's into the King Gambit behind Aurora Veil. Nice. Floette knocks itself down, no? Yep. Well played. Aurora Veil was really good there. Nice. Because he can't be anchored. I don't know. I was thinking Lycanroc and Frostlass had a good combo because you scare the Charizard away with a Lycanroc, and if there is no Charizard, there is nobody to change the weather, so it's you have almost a guaranteed Aurora Veil, you know.
Enough to say, okay, well, Sucker Punch isn't an option here. Maybe choosing something else, and then a Wave Crash can come out and deal with that King Gambit, because that right now is a huge threat. The Lycanroc is in a good position where it can pick up the Whimsicott, but it, of course, has got its Focus Sash. If that stays intact, you can take at least one attack from this Basque Legion, but not anywhere near over at this stage.
It really isn't, but it'd be so risky to allow a +2 King Gambit to get a Sucker Punch off, especially too. You know Arsal does want to click that button. Tried so much in that game number 2.
Protect Chone.
Again, when there is the Accelerock on the opposing end, you want to stick around. Protect needs to do what happens. Again,
Protect. Okay.
Just scouting out yet again, get the full information. Chris has been playing this
Accelerock. Ooh, Sucker Punch. It was Kowtow. Yeah, versus Basque Legion, I wish Barb also had Accelerock. Imagine, that would be crazy, bro. That will do so much damage.
especially when it is one of your remaining big hitters. You need to make sure that when it is hitting, it is getting as much damage onto the board as possible. You need to be going after this King Gambit, but like you say, look at Bunch chosen this time. If you fall for the trap of going for that Aqua Jet now, I think you have to almost go Aqua Jet, Moonblast into the King Gambit to remove it. It's just whether or not Arcel sees through that and then tries to get around
Chompy?
into that basket, which could be game end. You've got perfect.
He's leaving the Lycanroc very open. Nice. Crunch or something? Oh, it's just a Rock Slide. Good damage. So, Protect, Accelerate, Rock Slide. What's the fourth move on the Lycanroc? Could be Psychic Fangs, could be Crunch, could be an Elemental Fang, could be a boosting move, a status move, I don't know.
An Earthquake onto both these targets now. Put that Lycanroc down to its sash, and the problem is you can't attack with your Basket Legion when you're Earthquaking, so you've got to make a decision here. You go
Protection, eh?
Basket Legion here, and Garchomp protecting this turn.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh! Double Protect, I like it. Aqua Jet! Doesn't do the knockout. Do we see Kowtow? Oh, no! Sucker Punch! Doesn't work because Aqua Jet. And now you just Aqua Jet and you pick the knockout for sure. Damn, that was good play from Christopher. Good play.
Get that consistent damage off without having to worry about damaging your own Pokemon, like it chose the Earthquake here. So really difficult spot for ourselves to find them in. Preserving the King Gambit though makes sense to get that Sneasler back onto the field. So at least the next turn you've got
Sneasler? Hello. Aqua Jet? Oh, nice switch. Dragon Claw, is it enough? No, it's not. Rock Slide again. It's not in range of an Accelerock, I think. That's the last Pokemon for Arcel is a Sneasler. And there's still Whimsy in the back, right? For Christopher? You were the chosen one. You were said to restore the light to the Force, not leave it in darkness. Is it Christopher? Christopher is Darth Vader here, using the Dark Megas.
It can't fake it out, it can't go before that Aqua Jet that is such a threat right now. So Basket Legion, Garchomp in a great...
He's looking to fake out the Chomp, but what you do to the Basque? Oh, maybe he attacks into the Basque, double up into the Basque? Okay.
We get a protect from Garchomp, a protect from this Lycanroc, and a Basket Legion going for the
nice.
But targeting into the Lycanroc means not much gets done, but
okay.
try and hit into a protect. So 2 protects.
I guess Dire Claw into Basket Legion was the best play. But you can just let the Garchomp go for an Earthquake, right? So you gotta do something to the Garchomp, yeah. I see. You can just let it free. You have to cover it. Oh! It's the Whimsy! Nice. But I think the Lyca goes down now. Yeah. And the King Gambit is also now threatened by Aqua Jet. Oh! Rough match here for Arcel. This last game was harsh for him.
Once again, and just keeping in leveraging this Aqua Jet pressure that they've got access to. Now the King Gambit going to come onto the field. Yes, it does have Protect, so it can at least kind of stall out one turn where it's pressured, because you just can't do anything otherwise. But it then leaves the door open for the Garchomp, right? And even I think if you do get the Garchomp with the close combat, have you got enough to be able to deal with this Basket Legion? That's the big question. That's the big threat here. Could you potentially protect your King Gambit and go for a gunk shot into that Basket Legion? It's risky in front of Garchomp though, because anything else plays out with that Garchomp does attack, it's going to take that Sneasler down.
Gotta get the call right here. King Gambit protect. You know that this Basket Legion is trying to hunt you down. And now just the gunk shot.
Ah, Gunk shot missed again. GG.
The Sneasler to pick up the KO. And now we only have this one King Gambit. 6 HP will do nothing. Christopher Hans remained undefeated here at NAIC, starting his phase 1 of competition off right in a thrilling 3-game set.
Yeah, incredibly played from Christopher here, and just leveraging the Basket Legion so well in that game, really identifying the win condition there with that Pokemon in particular, and the one Pokemon that Arsenal is going to struggle to deal with, especially when that Frostless has left the field. You just don't have access to be able to...
GG, bro. Well played.
Like you would really like to be able to do, especially when the King Gambit's in that spot. It's taking so much damage and you're relying on the Sucker Punch most of the time, and then that's always been superseded by that Aqua Jet.
GG,
It really
GG.
makes it difficult to get rid
If
of
they
that
won,
Pokemon.
Charizard Y won, Floette won. It's fine. Guys, I'll finish this stream. I'll be back in 1 hour with Canada versus Bosnia for the World Cup 2026 match. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we'll be back with more NIC content. Thanks for watching. See you then.
Nothing because, I mean, you couldn't double protect the Garchomp safely, but instead you know you're calling